4th down and 6. Old Bridge gotta have it. Shotgun formation. Nugent, a lot of time. Rolls out. He's running out of space. Will roll the other way. They look, corner of the end zone. Touchdown!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead. And the Profs will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's got a wide open receiver. He's got the touchdown.
Motion man is Simmons. Trotman throwing towards Simmons down the field, and he makes the catch in traffic for a Bearcats touchdown.
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
Tracy comes set and delivers. And that's it on the ground to second. Throw to first, in time, and the ball game is over. South Shore survives a late scare, and they are the 2024 New York State Little League Baseball champions.
Live from the Warenenko Sports Complex in Roselle, New Jersey, PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of the American Arena League 2 playoffs. Tonight, it's the Eastern Division Championship matchup as the top-seeded Jersey Bearcats take on the number 3 seed, Steel City Stampede. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partner, David Pizzuto, and we welcome you into the Brownstone Grill in Metuchen pregame show. Coming off a win against the Maryland Eagles, War Eagles that is, last week, the 8-1 Bearcats face the Stampede for the 3rd time this season. Meanwhile, the 4-5 Stampede enter tonight's game coming off an upset victory over the New Jersey Roughnecks last weekend. And Dave, you made this point last week, but it wouldn't be the AAL2 playoffs without a matchup between these two teams. Plenty of postseason history between these two teams, with the next chapter in this rivalry to be written tonight.
Absolutely, Joe. No two teams have faced each other more than these two as part of the AAL2. This is their 8th meeting in the past 3 years and their 3rd in the playoffs. If you're the Bearcats, you have to feel pretty good given the success the Bearcats have had against Steel City and just looking at the records of these two teams. But we say it all the time here, Joe. Once the playoffs start, throw the records out the window and get ready for a whole different element of football. The Roughnecks found out last week that being the favorite doesn't mean much once you blow the whistle, and I know both teams are feeling pretty confident about their chances here tonight.
No question about that. Both teams, of course, coming off a win and have plenty of familiarity with one another. But before we take a closer look at our matchup here tonight, let's take a look around the AAL2 and see what's on the schedule this weekend. We mentioned it last week, but the road to an AAL2 championship for the Eastern Division will require 4 wins. Last weekend, only the Eastern Division was in action, and they are joined by the rest of the league this weekend.
Yeah, Joe, the playoffs started last weekend, and you see the results of those 2 games on your screen. And this weekend, all the remaining 8 teams will be in action. Tonight, it's the Eastern Division Championship. Then tomorrow, you got the Battle of the North between Michigan and Pittsburgh. And all 4 South teams start their bracket. From here, Joe, the playoffs are every 2 weeks, giving teams the opportunity to coordinate more extensive travel and, of course, an extra week of rest and preparation as the games get bigger and bigger. No matter what, Joe, the championship will be played here at Warenenko on July 26th, and PDF will be here with you for it. And so the Bearcats would love to be there playing in front of their home fans, but like you said, it's going to take 2 more huge wins just to get there.
We touched on the history between these two teams, and recent history has heavily favored the Bearcats. They've outscored the Stampede 70-18 so far this season. They've won 6 straight games against Steel City overall, and they're 2-0 against the Stampede in the postseason. That being said, this is not the same shorthanded Stampede squad that visited the Bearcats earlier this season, and I think it's fair to say that many were surprised to see them knock off the Roughnecks on the road last week.
Well, we were surprised, Joe, but when I spoke to Bearcats head coach A.J. Roque during the week, he expected a great game and was not surprised given the pieces that the Stampede added. Joe, by our count, Steel City comes in tonight with 9 new additions to their roster from the regular season finale game that we covered between these two teams just 3 weekends ago, including highly touted quarterback Tariq Smith. Some of the other major arena leagues have concluded their seasons, and so some players, in an effort to continue to play this summer, jump on board with these teams late, and he's one who will be an immediate difference. But 9 new guys, Joe, that's almost a third of an arena football team. So if you think you've seen all you need to see from Steel City this season, from their games against the Bearcats this year, think again. They're bigger, they're stronger, and better, and they consider themselves the favorite tonight after putting the league on notice last week.
Certainly plenty of new playmakers for the Bearcats to contend with on the Steel City side here tonight. But last week, the Bearcats faced the only team that had beaten them this season in the Maryland War Eagles. It was a slow start offensively for both teams, but the Bearcats came to life late in the first half as they went on to win 30-13. What did you like that you saw from Jersey in the win last week, and what issues does this team still have to sort out entering this divisional championship?
Well, we say it all the time how the Bearcats beat you in a lot of ways, Joe, and they showed that last week. Joe, they only had less than 50 yards passing last week. For a team that loves the big play, that's pretty wild to see, but their running game, especially in the second half, really wore down the War Eagles, and their defense, Joe, the whole unit gets the game ball last week. 2 turnovers that set the Bearcats up first and goal twice led to easy scores. Multiple stops when Maryland got deep. They had a blocked field goal, relentless pressure on the quarterback. It's like you think you have the Bearcats down, but then they pull another card out of the deck to win games. And that's been the theme all season. They play as a unit, and last week, again, not the most polished win you'll ever see, but strong complementary football that doesn't lean on any one thing to win. That's going to win you games at this level, and that's the reason why the Bearcats are 8-1 this season.
That's a great point you make, Dave, and finding a way to win has been characteristic of this Bearcats team all season long. Plenty of history between these two sides and a spot in the Northeast Championship game on the line tonight. What we will do here on the Brownstone pregame show is step aside, take a break, and hear from our sponsors. When we come back, we'll go on the field and hear from the Bearcats themselves. The Brownstone pregame show continues right here on your home for the AAL2 and the Jersey Bearcats, the PDF Sports Network.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
The New York State Little League Baseball Championship is back on the PDF Sports Network. Coverage begins on Sunday, July 20th, and continues all week long as 8 teams of New York's most talented Little Leaguers compete for a spot at regionals in Bristol, Connecticut. The welcome parade, skills competition, and all 15 games will stream live on our YouTube channel at PDF Sportsnet. Don't miss a single pitch on the home of the New York State Little League Baseball Championship, the PDF Sports Network.
Jersey Bearcats football is brought to you by Pino's Bakery. Located at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle, Pino's is your prime stop for specialty cakes, pastries, and deli delights. Always fresh and made to order, our family-owned shop prides itself on bringing our kitchen into your homes and your heart. Pino's is where family, tradition, and goodness are a daily thing. Visit us at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle or online at pinosbakery.net. Thank you to our friends at Pino's Bakery.
This fall, NSC Apparel has you covered. We have top quality uniforms with unlimited customization and great pricing. The Supersonic uniform has pro-level fabrics and embroidery, and the Sonic Speed uniform lends itself perfectly for full-body designs. We also offer fan jerseys for the perfect fundraiser. Let us make you the best dressed team on the field this fall. NSC Apparel, official uniform provider of the Bearcats and the AAL2.
Refined, restorative, results-driven. At CMX iMed Bar, we blend medicine, aesthetics, and wellness into one luxury experience, led by Dr. Angela Roque. Located in the heart of Pier Village, Long Branch. Visit cmximedbar.com or text 9089-232-694 to look better, feel better, live elevated.
If you plan to do chicken, then do chicken like a champ at Wing It On in Linden. Voted #1 medium wing sauce at the National Buffalo Wing Festival. Wing It On is family owned and operated in Linden, New Jersey, and we have an excellent array of your favorite wings and chicken done to perfection. We have the true flavor of champions at Wing It On. Stop in or order now at wingiton.com or call our store at 908-486-0910.
The Jersey Bearcats are proud to welcome the sounds of DJ Sparks for the 2025 football season. As heard on Blazing 98.5 FM, DJ Sparks is perfect for nightclubs, concerts, corporate and sporting events. Bringing the party to you. The best sounds and the best time with DJ Sparks. Contact DJ Sparks on social media, email, or by phone, and let's get the party started. DJ Sparks, proud supporter of the Jersey Bearcats.
KKT. InvestStars is now a proud sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. No matter what needs you have, F. Tarkin Jones will develop the right solution for you. See for yourself the star treatment you will get with KKT, InvestStars LLC. Call today at 201-290-4802 and be a star, just like the Bearcats.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You can vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right path.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
The Jersey Bearcats are back for another exciting season of AAL2 Arena football. Get on board with us and follow us all year long. For information on our donations, sponsorships, and game day, and ticket information, please contact us at jerseybearcatsarenafootball@gmail.com.
While we have a break in the action, the Jersey Bearcats would like to thank the Union Junior ROTC and the U.S. Army ROTC for their support of the Bearcats in AAL2 football.
And welcome back to the Brownstone Grill pregame show. Joe Foreman here in the broadcast booth alongside David Pizzuto, who is down on field level, ready to chat with our players and coaches. First up, Dave is joined by offensive lineman Kyle Rinsky.
All right, Joe, I am here with O-lineman Kyle Rinsky. Kyle, you know, the coaches tell us all the time, it all happens, it all starts with the guys up front. Tell me a little bit about your role in a game like this.
My role in a game like this really would be to make sure we contain the outside, work as a group together. It's going to be really important all together as a group for the offensive line. Make sure Steve's doing his job, make sure Dwayne, Za, and Eli are doing their job. So that's just going to be the big role today.
Absolutely. And on the offensive side of the ball, as an offensive lineman, what do you enjoy more? Do you like the passing game more? Do you like grinding it out for the hard yards? Tell me about your preference.
I definitely like grinding it out for the hard yards. Running the ball is a lot of fun. As soon as I see somebody cut the outside and just get outside on the wall, that's the perfect spot. As soon as I see Mateo or anybody gone, that's it. I love it. It's my favorite part.
I kind of figured that was going to be your answer. Kyle, final question for you is about the Stampede themselves. You faced them twice already. What do we know about them, especially from that defensive front? What do you guys have to do to check the box and win tonight?
We just got to play our game. We can't stoop down to their level. We got to make sure that we're containing the outside, making sure that they can't get any push on the run game. But mainly, we just got to make sure they can't get in our heads. We got to just play our game, make sure we're just doing our thing, and just keep our heads forward, tunnel vision.
All right, Kyle, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, you got it. That's Kyle Rinsky, O-lineman. Joe, we'll send it back up to you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dave. And after speaking to one of the big guys up front on the offensive side of the ball, we shift our attention to the big guys on the defensive side of the ball. Dave is joined down on field level by defensive lineman Jervon Young.
All right, Joe, I'm here with D lineman Jervon Young. Jervon, first and foremost, welcome back to the team.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about, you guys, you know Stampede from years past, obviously the regular season finale. Tell me a little bit about what we know about them and how do we attack them defensively.
You just got to contain, make sure they don't get no runs on the outside. Other than that, I don't think they're going to score today. So.
All right. I like the sound of that. But your coaches always say the key to winning games is about putting pressure on the quarterback. They have a new signal caller back there this week. Tell me a little bit about the focus on pressuring the quarterback and getting to the quarterback.
Just got to make sure we win on our moves and just attack the quarterback. Other than that, I believe in my coach that he putting us in the right position, so I got to do my job, and we're going to win.
How was it like playing in the playoffs last week, especially defensively, giving the ball back to the offense in a couple of first and goal situations?
Wait, say that one more time.
Not at all. How does it feel on the defense being able to put the offense in a great position to score with those turnovers from last week?
Feels good. We need to do more. We shouldn't be letting them score at all. Anything over one touchdown, we're not playing like we should be playing.
All right, Jervon, we're going to hold you to that. We got you on tape. Jervon, good luck tonight. All right, you got it. Jervon Young joins us. Joe, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, thank you, Dave. And one final conversation, as always, before we throw it to break. Dave is joined down on the field by Bearcats head coach A.J. Roque.
All right, Joe, I am here with head coach A.J. Roque. A.J., it wouldn't be the playoffs without you and the Stampede matching up. You get them again in this round of the playoffs. Tell me a little bit about this rivalry, what it means to your guys.
Oh, listen, for the sport and for the AAL2, this is great, right? Like we look forward to this, and we call it exactly what it is. It is a rivalry. And, our guys are hungry and, ready to get after it.
All right, now, there were only 2 games in the AAL2 last week. They had the surprise win. You guys took care of business over Maryland. Obviously, they are a much different-looking team than they were 3 weeks ago when you finished the regular season here. Tell me a little bit about what we know about them going into this playoff game.
They got more athletic at the quarterback spot, right? So that plays a huge factor, especially in the indoor game, running and stuff. But I think other than that, we'll be just fine, right? Still got the same coaches, still got the same concepts. So, we prepared just as if we played them 3 weeks ago, the same team.
Absolutely. So last week, defensively, you guys really showed out. Got a couple of turnovers that landed you in first and goal situations right from the boot. Offensively, you guys did what you had to do. Tell me a little bit about what you want to clean up after last week to come in super polished for this one.
Offensively, we can't come out slow. The defense, they came out first quarter a little slow, but then they picked it up. We just got to be able to come out from the get.
All right, so final question, AJ. A win tonight, and you get to face the Northeast champion in 2 weeks. Tell me about looking ahead and using this field to your advantage for possibly that game and then the championship.
We'll get to that at the end of the game.
I figured you were going to say that.
We'll get to that end of the game, right? We got to get the 1-0 first to even be able to get there.
All right. AJ, thanks for your time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Head coach AJ Roque joining us. Joe, we'll send it back up to you.
Good insight from Coach Roque. We had a photobomb from Coach K. And with that, we are going to throw it to break. We wrap up the Brownstone Grill in Metuchen pregame show as starting lineups are being introduced. After a quick 2-minute message from our sponsors, we will come back with the start of tonight's AAL2 playoff matchup between the Steel City Stampede and the Jersey Bearcats.
Jersey Bearcats football is brought to you by Pino's Bakery. Located at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle, Pino's is your prime stop for specialty cakes, pastries, and deli delights. Always fresh and made to order, our family-owned shop prides itself on bringing our kitchen into your homes and your heart. Pino's is where family, tradition, and goodness are a daily thing. Visit us at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle or online at pinosbakery.net. Thank you to our friends at Pino's Bakery.
If you plan to do chicken, then do chicken like a champ at Wing It On in Linden. Voted #1 medium wing sauce at the National Buffalo Wing Festival. Wing It On is family owned and operated in Linden, New Jersey, and we have an excellent array of your favorite wings and chicken done to perfection. We have the true flavor of champions at Wing It On. Stop in or order now at wingiton.com or call our store at 908-486-0910.
Refined, restorative, results-driven. At CMX iMed Bar, we blend medicine, aesthetics, and wellness into one luxury experience, led by Dr. Angela Roque. Located in the heart of Pier Village, Long Branch. Visit cmximedbar.com or text 9089-232-694 to look better, feel better, live elevated.
The Jersey Bearcats are proud to welcome the sounds of DJ Sparks for the 2025 football season. As heard on Blazing 98.5 FM, DJ Sparks is perfect for nightclubs, concerts, corporate and sporting events. Bringing the party to you. The best sounds and the best time with DJ Sparks. Contact DJ Sparks on social media, email, or by phone, and let's get the party started. DJ Sparks, proud supporter of the Jersey Bearcats.
The New York State Little League Baseball Championship is back on the PDF Sports Network. Coverage begins on Sunday, July 20th, and continues all week long as 8 teams of New York's most talented Little Leaguers compete for a spot at regionals in Bristol, Connecticut. The welcome parade, skills competition, and all 15 games will stream live on our YouTube channel at PDF Sportsnet. Don't miss a single pitch on the home of the New York State Little League Baseball Championship, the PDF Sports Network.
This fall, NSC Apparel has you covered. We have top quality uniforms with unlimited customization and great pricing. The Supersonic uniform has pro-level fabrics and embroidery, and the Sonic Speed uniform lends itself perfectly for full-body designs. We also offer fan jerseys for the perfect fundraiser. Let us make you the best-dressed team on the field this fall. NSC Apparel, official uniform provider of the Bearcats and the AAL2.
KKT, InvestStars is now a proud sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. No matter what needs you have, F. Tarkin Jones will develop the right solution for you. See for yourself the star treatment you will get with KKT, InvestStars LLC. Call today at 201-290-4802 and be a star, just like the Bearcats.
The Jersey Bearcats are back for another exciting season of AAL2 Arena football. Get on board with us and follow us all year long. For information on our donations, sponsorships, and game day, and ticket information, please contact us at Jersey Bearcats Arena Football at gmail.com.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
While we have a break in the action, the Jersey Bearcats would like to thank the Union Junior ROTC and the U.S. Army ROTC for their support of the Bearcats in AAL2 football.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
The New York State Little League Baseball Championship is back on the PDF Sports Network. Coverage begins on Sunday, July 20th, and continues all week long as 8 teams of New York's most talented Little Leaguers compete for a spot at regionals in Bristol, Connecticut. The welcome parade, skills competition, and all 15 games will stream live on our YouTube channel at PDF Sportsnet. Don't miss a single pitch on the home of the New York State Little League Baseball Championship, the PDF Sports Network.
Jersey Bearcats football is brought to you by Pino's Bakery. Located at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle, Pino's is your prime stop for specialty cakes, pastries, and deli delights. Always fresh and made to order, our family-owned shop prides itself on bringing our kitchen into your homes and your heart. Pino's is where family, tradition, and goodness are a daily thing. Visit us at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle or online at pinosbakery.net. Thank you to our friends at Pino's Bakery.
And we are back from the Warenenko Sports Arena in Roselle, New Jersey. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside David Pizzuto here on the PDF Sports Network. And Dave, it's week 2 of the AAL2 postseason. The Bearcats and the Stampede face off in the East Divisional Championship. As we have a performance down in the field from the Lady Bearcats, why don't you tell us your keys to the game? What do these two teams need to do to move on to the Northeast Championship in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, well, I think it's the same for both teams, Joe. I think if you ask the Stampede, if you ask the Bearcats, they will tell you they want to get off to a fast start. A.J. Roquet himself told us that. You know, he can't have a sluggish start like they had against the Maryland War Eagles. I think whichever team sets the tone early in this game is going to keep the other team chasing. And a team that chases is a team that tends to get sloppy, Joe, tends to commit turnovers, penalties, and we've seen how those things have derailed teams as well. So, you know, it's the second week of the playoffs, just like you said. You got to have some of the simple things figured out. You have to have the fundamentals down, no pre-snap penalties, protect the football at all costs, and listen, if there's a window of opportunity, you have to be able to take advantage of that against your opponents. I think the team that does that tonight is going to punch their ticket to the Northeast Championship in 2 weeks.
Well, one thing that leaps out to me immediately, glancing down toward field level, it was a very sparsely populated Stampede bench last time we saw these two teams meet. That is not the case here tonight. That bench is packed to the gills. The Stampede, as you mentioned earlier, have added a lot of new players, 9 to be exact, highlighted by quarterback Tyreek Smith. And we asked Coach Roquet what kind of player he was, and he mentioned that he can make things happen with his legs, and quarterbacks that have been able to extend plays and run with the football have given the Bearcats some trouble at times. Last week, it was the Bearcats that capitalized on the mobility of their quarterback, Mateo Rodriguez. So I'm very interested to see how these two defenses go about containing these quarterbacks and turning them into pocket passers. I think the team that does that more effectively is the team with a big advantage tonight.
Oh, 100%, Joe. And, you know, we don't talk about those guys a lot, but, you know, the offensive linemen and the defensive linemen, we got to speak to a couple of them during pregame, but those are the guys who are going to get it done. I mean, you're going to see a lot of the talent positions get a lot of their name called, in this game. You're going to see them make the highlight plays, but I will guarantee you of one thing, Joe. Whichever offensive line and whichever defensive line outplays the other, that's the team that's going to win tonight, assuredly. And both of these teams pride themselves on getting to the quarterback, and that's going to be a big focus here tonight as well.
A lot of points scored by these two teams last week, both scoring at least 30, and it will be Steel City receiving the opening kickoff to begin this one. And obviously the Stampede offense, not the same offense that we're going to see tonight. Last time they were here in Roselle, but the Bearcats' defense last week, certainly a defensive unit that is capable of slowing this offense down, an offense that put up a lot of points last week. The Bearcats' defense will be on the field first, and we said it during the pregame, Dave, and you just mentioned it again. This defensive front and the pressure that they put on the quarterback last week, complete game changer. Obviously, Tariq Pusey in the secondary was our player of the game, but we don't track quarterback pressures. It's hard to pick just one guy up front. Pusey got a drive started from the one with his interception, but player of the game could have went to anyone on that defensive line, anyone in that secondary. It was a tremendous effort from the Bearcats defensive unit last week.
Yeah, and the guys up front did their job as well. Guys like Willie Garner, Joey Ramirez, Chris Rohn, who's not dressed tonight, also had a big game. So those guys in the defensive line do a great job. But you know, Joe, that the Stampede won the toss, because if the Bearcats would have won, they would have elected to get the ball. And so the Stampede won the toss. They like to get the ball, and it goes back to what we said. Strong start is going to be imperative and paramount for both of these teams. It'll be the Stampede that'll get their first turn.
It was a shockingly slow start for both offenses last week. We did not see any points scored in that game until, I believe, the midway point of the second quarter.
Yep.
And the first two drives of the game took up 14 and a half minutes. Very uncharacteristic of the Bearcats and the War Eagles to put together drives that long. Typically, the Bearcats, a team that capitalizes on big plays. Stampede will look to do that here tonight against the defense coming off a great performance last week. Now, those who are wrestling fans, that does not include you, Dave, know that it is AJ Styles' theme playing right now. And when they say we don't want none, they're not talking about football. This game is taking a while to get started.
Yeah. Well, something we didn't talk about too, Joe, is special teams. These matter. And let's not forget last week the Bearcats were 0 for 5 on point after touchdowns, either 1 or 2. And the Stampede coming off a 4-point win, that'll be a key.
And we are underway as the opening kickoff is sent straight into the glass between the 15 and the 20 of Steel City. That's where they'll get started as the official is walking up to spot this football. He's moving toward the 20. And it looks like they'll spot Steel City just short of the 20-yard line to get this game started.
Yep, and again, you don't know if that was intentional by Cardoza, but to eliminate the return. But in any event, the Stampede get the ball in really good field position. They're 30 yards away from pay dirt here, and we'll get our first look at the Bearcats' defense. And they'll go without Chris Rohn, Joe. They will go on the defensive line. Ramirez, Jervon Young, and Willie Garner.
That trio, very dangerous bunch up front, putting pressure on the quarterback throughout the entirety of last week's game. FEEO did not have much time under any circumstances.
And, Joe, it is not Tariq Smith who's playing quarterback. They are going to start.
Well, it might be because we don't have a number 13 on our roster.
Oh,
Dave.
That's true.
So we're going to have to assume that is Smith. He will look to throw. Has time. Throws downfield complete. That is caught by Boogie Weidman, who is finally forced into the padding. And Steel City, on their first play of the game, picks up a nice chunk and a first down.
Yeah, and you know what? They were looking for the home run, Joe, but it wasn't there. But Smith was able, because he had time in the pocket, to look at his second or third option, and it was that option in Weidman going across the field, getting the sure first down. He got 15 yards on the play, and they cut their distance to go for the score exactly in half. They're 15 yards away.
Not to be lost in that play was the pass protection as well. Phenomenal protection, a good pocket for Smith to throw from there. First down from the Bearcats' 15. Pre-snap motion and a fumbled snap. It's loose. And getting on top of it was the halfback. That is Duke Chilton diving on top of it. Disaster nearly strikes for Steel City.
Absolutely. And again, we talked about the fundamentals, right, Joe? That's just a simple handoff that's gone wrong, and it almost led to the game's first turnover on the second play of the game. What it did do is it backed the Stampede up 4 yards instead, so it'll be second and long. But, yeah, there was no transfer on that at all, Joe. It just never left Smith's hand clean into Chilton.
We saw this last week when the War Eagles got into Bearcats territory. Bearcats defense really stiffened up and made things difficult. On more than one occasion, the War Eagles would move backwards after getting into Bearcats territory with a big play. Duddy Singleton, the motion man. Smith looking to throw, tucks it and runs. And he lowers his shoulder and is brought down just short of the 10. They'll give him the 11-yard line.
Yeah, and the field becomes constricted as you matriculate down the field, but that time Smith doing a good job of tucking it down. He got about 9 yards on the play and sets up a 3rd and 6 coming up here at the 11-yard line. But, you take what the defense going to give you, and that time you could see it on your screen. The defensive end's a little bit over pursuit in the pocket, opens up the lane for Smith, and Nick Price has to try and bring him down.
That's 2 passing plays and 2 examples of solid protection. Smith, knowing when that protection was breaking down, was able to step forward and run with it. 3rd down and 6. Ball at the Bearcats' 11-yard line. Smith in the shotgun once again will send Singleton in motion. That sets up trips to the right. He looks that way, throws the screen complete. Blockers ahead, and a big tackle there going low was Keemon Coleman. He takes down Malik Jackson just short of the goal line. Ball spotted at the 4.
Yeah, so that'll be good enough for the first down, more importantly, so it'll set up a 1st and goal for the Stampede. And that time, Jackson doing a nice job of sidestepping the defense. You could see the blocking materializing in front of him. Good block by the receiver as well, Boogie Weidman, to allow Jackson to spring free on the interior.
And if you remember, Dave, it was a tackle right at the goal line against the War Eagles last week that helped the Bearcats keep points off the board early in that game when it was still a very close game.
And they are sending in Darren Hungerford as well, just about on every play to put some pressure on Smith. He's number 13, the middle linebacker.
Once again, Singleton in motion. Jackson will keep. Make that Smith keeping, and he's tackled.
Yeah, that's a good job setting that edge by number 13, Darren Hungerford. He was the linebacker on the play. He doesn't make the tackle, Joe, but he forces Smith a little bit wider than what he wanted, right into the waiting arms of Joey Ramirez. So that's a nice play by Hungerford, who's only playing in his 2nd game with the Bearcats. But there you see, he works the interior, gets that pressure there, and he actually does end up with the shoe making that tackle.
That was a great play by Hungerford. Did not overcommit to the gap, but stayed squared up to the ball carrier and was able to launch himself at the legs of Smith and take him down. It's a 2nd down pass. Pump fake by Smith. He throws end zone incomplete. And he had Singleton open there.
Yeah, Nick Price was at the goal line. I thought at first he might have gotten a fingertip on it, Joe, but he was tracking it right at the goal line, looking at the eyes of Smith in case he was going to run with the ball. Instead, he elects to throw and disrupted the vision there. Look at Price working across, lifting that arm up. Might have disrupted the vision.
I think he did, because I don't see any other way that's not completed. Either it was tipped or the vision of the receiver was obstructed. That ball looked to be on target, and it didn't appear as if Singleton ever saw it cleanly. 3rd and goal. Smith under pressure, throws, end zone, and a flag comes out. That's going to be pass interference in the end zone.
1 versus 1. Keemon Coleman is going to get called for the flag on Weidman, who was once again working across the back end of the end zone. He was running out of room, but they're going to be set up 1st and goal here from the 1 if it's what we think it is, and it will be.
We mentioned the condensed field all the time. That is still a tough assignment for a linebacker. That will set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, okay. 1st and goal from the 1. After the pass, as we are battling the Wi-Fi here at Warananko, we think, and then 4. Remember, the Bearcats do come into this game with a kicker on their roster. There are no kickers listed on Stampede's roster. It doesn't mean that one of the positional players won't kick it here in this one, but just an added element to this game that we will keep our eye on. First and 10, Bearcats, as we finally get reset, and the clock will start on this play. In the flat, they go to Washington again. He's inside the 15 and pounces inside the 5 before he's brought out of bounds by Corbin. A solid gain of about 7 or 8, Joe.
All right, Dave, I think I have the internet figured out. For those recommending hotspots, we have 3. Unfortunately, the connection on a hotspot is only as good as the cellular connection inside the facility. So for all of you who have attended a game here, Verizon, 2-bar, AT&T, even worse. And unfortunately, those are the only options we have. We also have a T-Mobile hotspot, but not helping as Rodriguez keeps heading for the goal line, wrapped up, and is stood up just short of the end zone. They'll spot him at the 1.
That was some tackle at the 1. I thought Rodriguez was going to walk in for a touchdown. Instead, he gets walled at the 1, but the Bearcats will have it first and goal from the 1. They have not run the ball yet to Nas Adams. He's usually the workhorse here inside the 5.
2 men in motion on the goal line. Rodriguez keeps and is brought down. What a tackle in the backfield by Joe Davis.
Yeah, Joe, so just to catch our folks up at home, in case you missed a portion, the Bearcats held 7 straight plays inside the 5 for the Stampede. They got whistled for a pass interference, held out, and then they've walked down the field here on these first 3 plays, but that's their first negative play of the drive. It's second and goal from the Stampede 3 with 3:18 remaining in the first.
Man in motion pre-snap Ward. Rodriguez keeps again, and he's in for the touchdown.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, Joe, try again. I thought for sure the Bearcats were going to give the ball to Nas Adams because of what happened on the previous play, but head coach A.J. Roque says, no, we're going to run it again. We're going to run it to the opposite side. And Rodriguez, give him credit. He found the hole when it didn't look like there was one, Joe, and it's 6-0 Bearcats.
Bearcats defense once again impenetrable down around the end zone. The offense gets the football back after the turnover on downs by Steel City, and they do something they didn't do until late in the first half last week. They put up a touchdown.
And Chris Kulo will do the kicking here for the Bearcats.
I believe he kicked on the opening kickoff as well, and that one is no good.
Yeah, off the upright, off the left upright.
Just off the upright. That was really close.
Well, Coach K, Corey Miller, and Coach Roque are telling the officials that one went inside the goalpost, but not to be.
So.
I didn't think so, Joe.
No.
I thought it hit flush against it. Maybe we'll get another look at it.
It's really tough when the post is affixed to the netting.
Yep. And I'll tell you what now, that's got to be creeping into the heads of the Bearcats. Yeah,
that's good, Dave.
Really? I don't know.
Slow it down, Nick.
I'm still convinced it hits flush and bounces straight out. You know, it's one thing if it bounces in to that net, Joe, but
now, considering that the post is a part of the netting, is any contact with the post immediately a miss?
Well, that's an official ruling we don't know, but you make the call at home. You tell us on the live chat, is this good or not? I think it's no good.
Really?
I think that hits flush against the pipe and
good or no
go
good?
Straight down.
Nick thinks it's no good as well.
All right. So, Joe, you know, last week in the AAL the East semifinals, the Bearcats went 0 for 5 on their point after attempts, which included a couple of 2-point conversion attempts. And tonight they're 0 for 1. So that's something that it hasn't reared its ugly head this season, Joe, but it's been a little bit of a problem here for the Bearcats.
Here's another look at the touchdown. And they paid just enough respect to Adams, allowing Rodriguez to take that in. But I've noticed it on both kickoffs as well.
Yeah.
Chris Kulo has taken the tee with him on both. So I don't think these kicks toward the sideline are intentional in any way.
Well, because it went out of bounds, I think directly, they're spotting it at the 20 again, Joe. I guess that's the rule here in the AAL if it goes directly out. I don't really understand it because it went out of bounds.
Well, Dave, I'm kicking it straight out of bounds every time.
Yeah, well inside the Bearcats' territory.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just kick it out of bounds then?
Yeah, it's dubious because that was kicked straight out at about where the championship banner is, maybe a little bit up more. So I would think that the drive would start unless there was a penalty or something that backs Stampede up. But either way, they get the ball back again, 30 yards away from goal, down by a score.
Smith in the shotgun, 2 receivers lined up, maybe a step behind him, now both in motion. Smith looking downfield, tucks, breaks a sack, takes off, and will pick up about 6, maybe 7, and he certainly paid for it as he took a big hit at the end of that play.
Well, a nice job by Hungerford to get to him at first, but then an even better job by Smith to duck out of what would have been the second sack for the Bearcats tonight, and instead he gets a good 7 yards to make it 2nd and 3. But look at him kind of slide out of this tackle right there, and Smith is able to turn a negative play into a positive play.
That will set up a 2nd down and 3, maybe 4.
And Joe, that's where my eyes are on every play is the battle at the line of scrimmage. I'm not really watching a lot of what's happening down the field and what Smith is able to access, but he's not finding anybody back there. And the cornerbacks of the Bearcats are on an island here with Hungerford coming in on every play.
Once again, 2 receivers in motion pre-snap. Smith throws downfield. Intercepted! Picked off by Tariq Pusey. He has an interception for the 2nd straight game and is slammed into the boards at midfield.
And this defense is fired up now, Joe. We're going to have a penalty at the end of this, but the Bearcats hold on 2 1st and goal opportunities from the Stampede back-to-back, 7 straight plays, and now they come back with a interception to put the ball back in Stampede territory. Unless it gets called back a little bit, the Bearcats are fired up and have the ball back.
And how often, Dave, do you see a team line up with 4 wide receivers on the field? You very rarely see a quarterback in the shotgun in the arena game without a back somewhere in that offensive backfield, and that was a very unique look we saw. Previously, the 2 receivers lined up behind Smith, both went in motion up the field. This time, the receiver from the near side rotated over toward the far side. 2 receivers now sprinting up the field with 1 receiver already set there, and the Bearcats were not fooled.
We get one more look at that so we can see what exactly you were saying. The personal foul was against the Bearcats at the end of it, so we'll catch you back up to that. But let's take a look at what you're talking about here, Joe. And you can see Pusey just sitting out there in center field and kind of timed it right and got in front of it.
And we'll wind it back one more time, Dave. If you take a look at the left sideline, that's where the read was on that play. The Bearcats were not fooled. They had a receiver sit underneath along the near side, but on the far side, you'll take a look at the 2 receivers there. They had a short completion if they wanted it. 2 receivers against 1 DB. And Dave, if you throw that for the sideline up against the boards, there's a chance that your receiver further down the field blocks the 1 defensive back, and you take that in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So they went for it all and came up empty as Pusey comes away with the interception, and now the Bearcats have it back maybe a half yard shy of midfield.
Yep, and check that, Joe. The personal fouls were offsetting, so the ball stays right here at midfield.
Pre-snap motion once again. It was Simmons Jr. Ball going his way is caught, and that is a Bearcats touchdown.
Perfect stride for Simmons. He's able to catch and just take it in and just deflects the defensive back off of him. And, Joe, this is what the Bearcats wanted, a fast start, and they're 2 for 2 on the offensive side of the ball, and they have a 12-0 lead.
Mateo Rodriguez to Todd Simmons Jr. Here's one more look at it as the Bearcats go in front by 12. And, Dave, they had the one-on-one coverage down the field. With all of that room to work, that's not a battle you're going to win very often against this Bearcats receiving corps.
Yeah, and a nice vision for Rodriguez, had a nice clean pocket.
And the extra point is short. No good.
Yep, Bearcats wanted a penalty because Chris Kulo was run into, but the Bearcats continue to be 0 for on these extra point attempts. But they'll take the 6 off the interception as a trade-off. That is the end of the first quarter as well.
We are through 1 from the Waranenko Sports Arena as Dave, hold on a second, The flag was thrown. Now, it was never actually dropped on the field, but I did see the back judge with his hand in his pocket on the flag, and it looks like the officials have talked about it and decided to call a penalty, which will allow the Bearcats to come out and go for 2.
Yeah, so we saw the Bearcats rush over and put up the 2 sign, which means that they're going to go for 2 here, and this will be the final play of the first quarter instead. It's a big 2 points here. Make no mistake.
Final play of the opening quarter. They already have put 15 on the clock for the start of quarter number 2. Out of the pistol, they hand off to Adams, and he goes in behind Jervon Young for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, that's a big 2 points. It might not seem like it this early in the game, but you don't want to chase point afters too long, and they got that back. They got the miss back, and they got the second one back via the penalty. And now the Bearcats are up by a cool 14 points at the end of 1. A much different first quarter, Joe, than last week offensively.
Certainly, and Bearcats defense once again tightening up, backed up against their own end zone, and forcing turnovers. You mentioned how important those turnovers were last week, setting up goal-to-go situations. That last interception set up the Bearcats offense just shy of midfield. And I always talk about it. That's right around that sweet spot, Dave, between the 15 and the 25. It allows you plenty of room to hit that deep ball without the roof getting in the way. Rodriguez made no mistake on the throw to Simmons Jr., and that put the Bearcats up 12, followed by the conversion to go up 14. So with that, we'll take a quick 2-minute break. Our score after 1, the Bearcats 14 and the Stampede nothing.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
And we are back from the Warenenko Sports Arena, where a late flag that was thrown on the Bearcats' extra point afforded Jersey the opportunity to go for 2. Our final play of the first quarter, a successful 2-point conversion to put Jersey ahead, 14-0.
Yeah, Joe, and you mentioned Chris Kulo on the last 2 kickoffs was kicking off from the tee. Now he's going to use a holder here to see if he can get this one with a little bit more distance under it. But 2 for 2, the Bearcats on offense, and the Stampede with 2 offensive series that come up empty.
Big difference there, not using the tee. And the Stampede will start just inside their own 20, pending a flag at the end of that return.
Yeah, that one came way behind the play by the white hat, and we'll see what the result of this is. But if this is against the Stampede, they are going to be incensed. It's going to be a face mask against the Bearcats, Joe, so they're going to get the ball back, the Stampede in very good field position. And, you know, this game isn't over. We have 3 quarters to go. And it feels, Joe, like this game right now is teetering on a razor blade, right? If the Bearcats get one more huge play, you know, this game could get out of hand very quickly. But conversely, the Stampede getting the ball on the Bearcats side of the field, they are 1 play away from getting right back into this game. So this is a huge moment in this contest.
I think if you're Steel City, you don't need to force anything right now. You don't need to go into desperation mode. If the Bearcats score next, they are in big-time trouble.
Yeah.
The way this defense has been playing, the Bearcats getting the next points completely swings this game into a spot where you don't want it if you're Steel City. As you said, Dave, they're looking for that 1 score to make it a 1-score game. Smith lines up in the shotgun. He is flanked by Chilton. The motion man was Singleton. And the completion goes toward the right sideline, caught by Sel Johnson for a Stampede first down.
Yeah, he was a big part of the game a couple of weeks ago, Joe, when we watched this team play, and he caught a lot of passes like right up the middle of the field that he was able to do exactly what you just saw there, like pull forward, get an extra 4 or 5 yards. And that time it's just a simple route. You're just sitting down 5 yards and turn around, the ball's on you, and then you go in for another 5 or 6. Nice first down to start the drive here for the Stampede.
I think if the Stampede get the ball out quickly and take what the defense is giving them, they can get back in this game, because right now the Bearcats are content to let them throw the ball underneath. Once again, Singleton was the motion man. Pump fake by Smith. He goes end zone, and he has him for the touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely. That was Duddy Singleton, who lost Nick Price once again going across the end zone. And that time the Bearcats actually got really good pressure in the backfield, but Smith was able to sidestep to his right, and Singleton was going to the right as well, to his right as well. So it was a perfect alignment of where the quarterback is running and where his receiver is running that route. Great response by Steel City right there, and a chance, as I believe they're going to go for 2 to cut this to a 6-point deficit.
The pump fake got Joey Ramirez off his feet just enough to buy Singleton the time to get open in that back corner of the end zone. And I say it all the time, Dave, when you have goal to go around the 7-8 yard line, that's where you want to be. The playbook open, enough room for your receivers to get open as well. Cornish was the motion man. The ball goes his way, and he holds on off the tip, following the huge hit for the 2 points.
Well, I don't know how Cornish held on to that, because then he got absolutely rocked by Tariq Pusey. But listen, Joe, when these games get bigger and bigger, you need your players to make big plays, and that's a big play. It doesn't look like much. It's only 2 points on the scoreboard, but those are points that they could be chasing if they don't make it. Instead, what a job of hanging on by Cornish. You saw the wallop there at the end. But, Joe, that silenced the crowd a little bit here in Roselle. We knew this was a big moment in the game, and give props to Steel City. They stepped up in a big way, and we've got a game again.
Down 2 scores on the road in the playoffs. That's a big-time drive right there. That is a big-time catch on the 2-point conversion as well. Takes a bit of the pressure off now, not needing it to tie the game next time. Instead, you go for 2 in a 14-8 game, pending a touchdown, and you're playing for the lead. Big difference there in terms of looking ahead to a potential tie or go-ahead score.
And there are 11 minutes and 39 seconds left here in the first half, so there's a world left in this second quarter. As Sel Johnson will be the one to kick it off here. But it's a big moment for the Stampede defense that's going to be coming out of the field as well, as that one hits the upper netting.
I'll tell you, for a right-footed kicker to have his holder lining up to his left, that was a bit of an unorthodox setup, but they executed it minus the kick, finding the netting. That would have been a fine kick were it not for the low-hanging ceiling, but we'll see where they spot it.
And I was going to say, I'm interested to see where this spot goes. And
the 20, I
it's
assume.
going to be a 20. So I guess when the kick is out of bounds, no matter where on the field it goes, it gets spotted at the 20 again.
I'll tell you, Dave, if I'm kicking, I'm sending the ball straight into the ceiling or the boards every time if they get it to 20.
You know, and I wasn't aware of that rule, Joe, because I could swear that I've been at games where if it's kicked, out of bounds before the 20, that's where the ball gets spotted. But in any event, the Bearcats will get the ball in a very familiar yard line here. This is where most of the drives have started for both teams. And like I said, it's a big moment of the game for the Stampede defense. The last time they were on the field, they got burned for the one-play touchdown.
They will wind the clock at 11:39. Or not. They were trying to get the clock operator's attention as Rodriguez throws deep downfield. Incomplete. On the coverage was Gordy Corbin, the intended receiver, Kyle Ward.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago when we covered these teams, Joe, Corbin was the quarterback for the Stampede, and he also played defense, and he was very, very good on the defensive side of the ball. That time he was pretty much stride for stride with Kyle Ward, did a nice job I thought that Kyle Ward was trying to shield him off the ball or slow down his route a little bit, but instead it ends up an incomplete pass.
2nd and 10. Ball just inside the Bearcats' 20. 2 men in motion near side. Rodriguez will keep. Big block from Adams, and Rodriguez was tripped up and brought down right at midfield, and that was a big tackle to get a hold of the shoestrings.
Yeah, and Joe, on the previous play on 1st down, the Stampede only rushed 3. So I think A.J. Roque saw that and said, listen, if they only rush 3 again, you're going to run with the football. Because remember what he said last week, Joe? At halftime, they made the adjustment. Watch, only 3 come in. There comes the 4th, and Rodriguez is able to take an easy 5 yards. So if you're not going to put more hats than what the Bearcats have on the offensive line, you're going to see this a lot. Rodriguez is going to figure out which side is heavy with the blocking, and he's going to run.
3rd down and 5. Rodriguez throws left complete. Kyle Ward, and he is thrown down, but that is after he picks up the 1st, and the Bearcats will move the chains.
Yeah, good textbook tackle by Justin Haynes, but again, a lot of soft coverage there on the underneath. Ward is able to catch that with already the 1st down in hand and then able to get a couple more.
Bearcats hurry to the line. 1st down from the Steel City 15. Jersey ahead by 6. Ward, the motion man, out of the slot. High snap, handoff. Adams breaks 1 tackle and is thrown into the boards. He is brought down at about the 8.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen that misdirection run where you don't know if Rodriguez is going to take off with it or if he's going to option it over to Nas Adams, and they use the run wisely there. They get 6 yards on 1st down, and they set themselves up, I believe, inside the 10. Indeed, the ball's at the 8.
2nd down and 4. Adams flanks Rodriguez in the backfield. Ward in motion. Handoff, Adams, and he is swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. 2 Stampede defenders in on the tackle. That was Gibson and Davis.
Yeah, and Gibson got his helmet right on the ball, Joe, and the forearm of Adams, and you could see the ball move a little bit out of the midsection of Adams. They got a little fortunate there that Adams was able to hang on, but he took a shot right on the ball and forearm. You could see it right there, and it almost jarred the ball loose. 3rd down and about 5 here as they lost a yard.
Rodriguez once again in the shotgun. 2 receivers in motion. He will look to throw. Steps up now, takes off, heading for the sticks, and a huge crash into those boards. Did he get enough for the 1st?
I don't think so. They're spotting it right at the 5-yard line, so it'll be a 4th and 1. That hit sounded a lot worse than what it was. I think it was the tackler that time that kind of hit his cleats into the boards a little bit more, but that was awfully close. And here we go, Joe. Big boy football. 4th down and 1 with a lot of options here for the Bearcats.
I'm curious to see if it looks like he got it on replay. Just short.
Yeah,
Dave.
I think he's short.
Just short.
And we have a timeout. The first timeout that will be called, it'll be by the Stampede. So, I saw the Stampede coaching staff, Joe, try to get some personnel going. We'll see if we will have our official timeout here.
And with this timeout in the 2nd, it's all about fitness. Our contestants are doing their thing on the field, and it's sponsored by Infinite Athletic Training, located in Piscataway, New Jersey. They're also part of our 2nd quarter giveaway at Waranenko. The Electrolyte Boost. Imagine hydration, but without the water. Get your performance back on track and get boosted with the Electrolyte Boost. For samples, fundraising for your team, or to purchase packets, contact Jermaine Sanders, co-owner of the Jersey Bearcats, at 201-667-6374, or email jerseybearcatsarenafootball@gmail.com. And let's make sure we stay fit after all these great snacks at Waranenko with Infinite Athletic Training. www.infiniteathletictraining.com.
All right, Joe, we have our hula hoop contest for the 2nd quarter. Give a shout out to John Burgos down there. Operations on the field, getting the kids involved as well. Great atmosphere here, Joe. We say it all the time, but we love that you're watching us here on the PDF Sports Network. But right here in Roselle is where you really need to be. It's great concessions. The Lady Bearcats put on a great show as well. There's always some halftime things that are going on. So if the Bearcats win tonight, we play again here in 2 weeks. But no matter what, Warananko and Roselle is the site of the championship on July 26th. So we hope everybody will come on out, support the league, and support the teams that will be playing that night.
Well, Dave, there's only one thing I don't like about Warananko, and you know what that is.
The Wi-Fi.
That is correct.
Yes.
We actually began the night streaming on their Wi-Fi, but there is a limit to how much data you can upload.
And it's not a lot, obviously.
And clearly it is not very much.
Goodness gracious.
They got us after about half a quarter. Bearcats have it. 4th down and a long yard. They can pick up a first at the 4. Ward the motion man. Rodriguez keeps, and I think he's short.
Yeah, his knee went down, Joe. The knee was outside the 5. Now, I don't know where they're going to spot this. It looks like it's right at the 4, Joe.
He's short.
And they're not even going to measure, I don't believe. Well, wait a minute.
I think they are going to measure.
They're going to congregate here.
I think
we're going to see a replay, and we'll probably see it slow down after we see it in normal motion. Now, watch his knee. Watch when it goes down, Joe, right there. Yeah, I think he's short.
I think he's short. Let's try and freeze frame it, Nick. Slow it down to 0.25 and try and pause it when the knee hits.
Now, it's an official timeout on the field, so we'll let you know what they decide here while you watch the replay and make the judge and the call yourselves. Now, they are going to measure here, Joe.
I don't think he got it.
Not yet.
That's a shin.
Yeah, that's a shin. Yeah,
there's a chance he got it, Dave.
Yeah, and
my instinct in real time is that he was short.
And let me just say, Joe, the spot is a good one. The spot is a favorable one for the Bearcats, I think. I didn't think he got that far past the 5.
If he got at all past the 5, I think he's got it.
Yeah, and let's give a shout out to our amazing camera work by Pat Gialorenzo and the engineering by Nick Bavona. They set up that shot perfectly for us to see when that knee went down. But the spot is, I think, a good one for the Bearcats. I just don't know if it's enough.
I think it's going to be by a chain link, Dave. They didn't get it. The question is by how much.
Yeah.
Can't see it from here.
Yeah,
Dave, that's a chain link, Dave.
Yeah.
They were short by a chain link.
Right, and it was a first down for the Stampede. And, yeah, not by much, by a feather.
We talk about game-changing plays from this Bearcats defense all the time. There's one from Steel City in a huge spot. Here's one more look at it. I think the officials spotted that ball about as well as they could have. My instinct in real time is that he was short.
Yeah.
And letter of the law, once the shin is down, you're down.
Yeah.
So
Nick
that
framed
knee
it again
actually hit after the shin. But even if you give him the spot where the knee went down, it's not a sure thing that he picked it up.
Yeah.
It was so close.
And now, what do you do with it? It's a big moment of the game as well, because now if you're the Bearcats defense, you know, you're a little hot. You think you got the first down there. Now you got to get back on the field and get a stand here. The clock is moving with under 7 minutes to go. It shouldn't be. The clock should be stopped when there is a change in possession.
If you know anything, it's that the clock
doesn't
follow.
It's just consistently inconsistent. But the clock is moving. 6:40
to go, first half. Pre-snap motion, it is Singleton. Quick throw, complete. And boy, Dave, that was dangerous.
Yeah, Devontae LeGrand was sitting there looking at Smith's eyes, and as soon as his arm was in motion, he broke for the ball. That could have been intercepted, but Smith gets some credit. He put a lot of zip on that ball. It's a minimal gain, about 5 yards, but it sets up a 2nd and 5. Check out LeGrand, number 16. Breaks for the ball, just a little bit late.
I think the right throw there was over the middle. That was really, really dangerous. But we've said it time and time again, this Bearcats defensive front puts pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Forcing that quick decision can result in throws just like that one. All said and done, it's a gain of 5 on the play. You'll take that if you're Steel City. Singleton in motion again, and a flag comes out.
It's the first time we've seen a pre-snap penalty on either side, Joe. We saw a lot of these last week, but Looks like the Stampede were ahead of the play by just a few steps. And that'll take the 5 yards back.
Well, snapping the ball from inside your own 5, you have to be very careful not to drop back a bit too far and succumb to the pressure. Not only is there a lot of pressure on a quarterback in this spot, there's a lot of pressure on those guys up front. The back could be put in a position where he has to block that blitzing linebacker. I would not want to block Darren Hungerford.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with a head of steam coming in from the linebacker position. Now Hungerford,
he's not in.
He's not in the game right now. Piper has come in his place as they go heavy with the defensive backs here.
Singleton lined up deep in the Stampede end zone, and he will be the motion man. Smith has some time, throws over the middle, incomplete, and he had Malik Jackson open.
I was going to say, Jackson ran a nice route, but that pass was a little bit too elevated, and if anybody's sitting there in the real high zone, perhaps another opportunity to pick something off in the deep secondary, but it will bring up a 3rd down and long here. And again, the protection has been pretty good for the Stampede up front. That time Piper did commit to the rush on the left side. Smith never thought about running it, but they've been giving him some good lanes to throw from, Joe.
This is a big play here because if you end up 4th and 10 from your own 4, you're in a really tough spot.
Yeah.
If you're Steel City, you need to get something here to make it a 4th down and more manageable. That assuming, of course, that you don't pick up the first. The motion man is Weidman. Smith throws, middle, complete. Weidman's got it in traffic.
That's a heck of a throw to put it in the low zone where only your receiver getting down to get it can grab it. And give a lot of credit to Weidman, too. To have to fall to the turf, making that kind of catch with that much zip on the ball, that's not an easy catch to make either.
And that was a good job by Smith to protect Weidman there, keeping that ball low. There were 2 Bearcats defenders ready to light him up if he caught that.
Yeah, right.
On his feet.
That's a good point, Joe, because if that pass is like waist length or higher, he is going to get absolutely demolished between 2 defensive backs. But that's why it's a good throw and an even better catch.
3:25 to go now in the second quarter. Already over 3 minutes gone by on this drive as Smith looks to throw again. Running out of time. Throws downfield too high. And Jackson had a step as that play broke down. We also have a flag in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be holding against the Stampede, Joe. And Smith had a lot of time to run, and I think he actually had an opportunity to tuck that out and go off right tackle. And I think the hold was on Joey Ramirez because Ramirez looked like he was within an arm's length of him, but just couldn't get his arms clear to try and get him down. Take a look. I think that's where the hold comes from. Maybe. It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
but
really hard to tell.
Either way, way too much loft on that ball as well. But 1st and 20 here at the 9-yard line, or just inside the 10.
1st and 20 coming up for Steel City. The clock is still running. We are inside of 2.5 minutes to go in this first half.
We'll have the 1-minute warning, and by our count, the Stampede with 2 timeouts remaining. Bearcats with all 3.
Once again, Smith in the shotgun, flanked by Chilton. He sends Weidman and Singleton in motion. He looks towards Singleton and is nearly intercepted by LeGrand.
Yeah, and LeGrand has the benefit, Joe, of only having Singleton on his side. So even if they're playing, I think they're playing man, but even if they're playing the zone there, that's the only real responsibility that LeGrand has. So he's shortened up on his coverage and, again, is able to see the eyes of the quarterback and break. And that time, timed it really, really well.
And I don't think his eyes ever left his intended receiver, Singleton, there. Didn't even look him off.
And I think the Bearcats might have called, no, it's the Stampede that have called the timeout. So second timeout taken by the Stampede on 2nd and 20 now with 1:38 remaining.
Stampede, if they pick up a first down, very easily could make this the final possession of the half. However, if they fail to pick up a first down, the Bearcats could take over inside the 20, inside the 10, and then go into the half up 2 scores. So what happens resulting from this set of downs can completely change the complexion of this game. And if you're Steel City, at the very least, You want to try and pick up one more first and keep the ball away from Jersey.
Yeah, and I think, to me, this is a huge play because on 2nd and 20, if you set them up 3rd and long, now if you're the Stampede, you really have to start thinking about that time and not leaving enough for the Bearcats. But this is a big play right here. They need some kind of yardage to make it a little easier.
Once again, Smith lined up, flanked by Chilton. He will look to throw. Has time. And that pass is dropped by Jackson.
And Jackson was wide open. There was nobody within 5 yards of an orbit on him, and that one goes off of his shoulder pad. And so instead of a 3rd down and maybe 4 or 5, because he probably would have gotten another 4 or 5 after the catch, it's 3rd and 20 with 1:16 and counting. This will probably take us to the 1-minute warning.
And if you are Steel City, you are in a really tough spot now. 3rd and 20. And I think now if you're the Stampede, your attention almost turns to just complete something on this play.
Yeah.
You don't want a high-risk pass that could go incomplete in terms of high risk.
Correct.
Of course, you don't want to throw the INT, but I would try and design something to get the ball out quick and give your receiver a chance to run after the catch.
Yeah, and you got to force the Bearcats to call a timeout as well because an incomplete pass automatically stops the clock. It should not be running, but the clock is running, and there's no reason why. This clock should not be running.
Well, we are inside a minute. Clock's still ticking, so I think this helps Steel City given the situation.
Wow.
Smith in trouble. Gets away and is stood up after a gain of about 2.
Clock should stop now, and it does with 37 seconds. And
well,
they snapped that, Joe, with 47 seconds left. So 13 seconds went off the clock that should not have gone off the clock. So there should really be 50 seconds left in this half. Instead, there's 37.8. And now they're coming over to the scorer's booth to have a conversation.
Do the officials keep time anywhere on the field?
I don't think they do. I think they're relying on, because they didn't change the clock. So there's 37.8 now. Joe, the other thing to discuss here, it's a 4th down and close to 20. So this is a huge play, and the Bearcats, if they hold, are going to have an automatic stoppage because of the change in possession. But what do you do here if you're the Stampede?
Well, I'll tell you what I don't do, and that's envy the Stampede right now. They're in a really difficult spot.
Tough spot.
You have to try and pick up this 1st down now.
Yeah, because the clock is going to stop either way if you're short.
Even if you throw a pick down the field, just tell your receiver to make the tackle.
True. You almost want to throw a pick all the way down the field, truthfully. It's like a punt.
Smith running out of time, and he was nearly picked, and that would have helped Steel City.
I know. That's a good no catch. And the clock does stop with 29.7 seconds left. Now, remember, the Bearcats have all 3 timeouts. Well, we only show 2.
They just called one.
Oh, they just did? Okay. I thought they went out of bounds there. I'm sorry.
Well, that's actually a good point. They did go out of bounds, but I think the Bearcats did call timeout.
All right, well, we'll figure it out. But they have either 2 or 3. And with 29.7 to go, they have plenty of time. At least that's the point, Joe. They have plenty of time. The ball's at the 12-yard line, so the opportunity to run 4 plays here is definitely within reason.
They have an eternity, Dave.
Yeah, sure.
Steel City's defense needs to come up big again.
Wow, these are 6 huge points to end the first half. And there have been 2 or 3 instances this season where the Bearcats have actually walked off with a touchdown at the end of a half or a game. So this is nothing new for them.
1st down. Pre-snap motion. Rodriguez throws the screen, and Ward is gobbled up.
Now they have to call timeout, and they do. So 23.5, yeah.
Read that perfectly.
Absolutely. Yeah, not fooled by it. It was a clean jailbreak to the quarterback, so the screen was obvious. And I don't hate the call by any stretch because the Bearcats have used that time and again to a lot of success. But now with 21.8 to go, and essentially a 2nd and goal if you want, they do have the ability to get a 1st down at the 2-yard line, but it's touchdown or bust, I think, at this point.
To move them backwards on the first play and force them to use one of the 2 remaining timeouts is big.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, again, if they had Only 2 left.
Now, because that was a negative play, does the clock
that's a good
stop?
point. That's
because
a good
the rule
point.
is you have to move forward.
Right.
Now, obviously, that rule in this case would benefit the Bearcats.
Right, exactly.
So can you use judgment to determine when it would benefit,
I don't know.
when it wouldn't?
Yeah.
But the rule is you have to move forward inside of 1 minute.
Correct. Can't take a knee.
Exactly. Rodriguez looks to throw once again, and he is sacked.
And will they
Xavier Unique takes him down.
And they will take the final timeout with 13 seconds left. But that was great pressure by the defensive backfield. The Bearcats actually get a very favorable spot at the Stampede 22. But it's 3rd down and 20 coming up. But essentially, they need a touchdown here. They need to go in the end zone because by our count, the Bearcats are now out of timeouts. Well, if they just took one.
Well, I think now, all of a sudden, your attention shifts to if you have a negative play here, make sure you take the rest of this half with you.
Sure.
You have 2 plays, of course, but
yeah, and if you're the
that's
Stampede,
in the back of your mind.
What's nice is that the ball has to be up in the air, so you can now, look at number 7 like a bull in a rodeo. Just
in the china shop?
Yep, something like that.
Rodriguez looking to throw. Has a man wide open. It's caught. Heading toward the goal line and stumbling toward the end zone was Washington.
Yep.
Now, Dave, he hit the padding unforced much earlier.
Yes, he did. Now, again, the clock was still running for a few seconds. That clock should have probably stopped with about 3 or 4 left. There are 1.4 seconds left. And I believe he got the first down. The ball's at the 2. Oh, 4th down and inches, but it doesn't matter. There's only 1 play left anyway. But, Joe, do you try a field goal here and make it a 2-score game?
I'd consider it.
I would too.
That being said, you do get the ball to start the second half.
Right.
I think that factors in.
Now, Crisculo, has been unsuccessful. You don't have your normal kicker, but a timeout has been called by the Stampede now. So we believe both teams are out of timeouts. And, Joe, that's something we should talk about, too, because the Bearcats had Justin Cardoza on their active roster. He's a straight-up kicker, and he came from the Wheeling Miners. Anthony Starego, who's been the kicker for most of the regular season, is here in street clothes. So you wonder if something happened to Cardoza that he's just not able to go in this game. Because I believe if the Bearcats have a kicker dressed, at least I would go for a field goal here. I know that we've had this discussion before.
If we're looking at a team that was 2 for 2 on extra points in this spot, I'd say kick it. They're 0 for 2.
Right.
You have to go for the touchdown.
Especially without your dressed kicker or the kicker that you have on the roster not here. And I think it's you have to get a touchdown here. But
it could be lost, and I'll make the point very quickly. That last play was made possible by the offensive line. The route combination took time to develop. Washington got wide open, but Rodriguez needed time. The big guys up front gave him tremendous blocking on that play just to set up this opportunity on 4th down.
And there's no Nas Adams in the game. Kyle Ward is in the backfield. So keep
this
that
will be
in
the
mind.
final play of the half. Two receivers in motion. Rodriguez, quick throw, man open, touchdown Bearcats!
Wow. How is Reed that wide open? I have no idea, Joe. And that's on the Stampede. And wow, what a score that is for the Bearcats.
Mel Reed making his presence felt once again. Had 1 catch in his Bearcats debut. That went for a touchdown. His first grab in this game goes for a touchdown. And you can see it, Dave. 2 Stampede defenders collided with one another. That's a tough assignment, chasing Reed across the goal line. And they ran that route to the short side of the field. So limited space to work with, but Reed didn't need much.
We saw a touchdown to end the first quarter. We see another one to end the first half. And the elusive extra point that time tucks in, and it's good.
What a close to half number 1. The Bearcats go in front 21-8 on a last-second touchdown, and I mean that in the most literal sense.
Oh, yeah.
1.4 remaining on the clock as the Bearcats snapped it on 4th down. That completely changes this game. Jersey gets the football to start the second half. Once again, our score at the break, the Bearcats 21 and the Stampede 8. First, a message from our sponsors, followed by our Lady Bearcats Spotlight. Stay right here on the PDF Sports Network through halftime for that Lady Bearcats Spotlight. Dave and I rejoin you with a few minutes to go before the start of the third quarter.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
The New York State Little League Baseball Championship is back on the PDF Sports Network. Coverage begins on Sunday, July 20th, and continues all week long as 8 teams of New York's most talented Little Leaguers compete for a spot at regionals in Bristol, Connecticut. The welcome parade, skills competition, and all 15 games will stream live on our YouTube channel at PDF Sportsnet. Don't miss a single pitch on the home of the New York State Little League Baseball Championship, the PDF Sports Network.
Jersey Bearcats football is brought to you by Pino's Bakery. Located at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle, Pino's is your prime stop for specialty cakes, pastries, and deli delights. Always fresh and made to order, our family-owned shop prides itself on bringing our kitchen into your homes and your heart. Pino's is where family, tradition, and goodness are a daily thing. Visit us at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle or online at pinosbakery.net. Thank you to our friends at Pino's Bakery.
This fall, NSC Apparel has you covered. We have top quality uniforms with unlimited customization and great pricing. The Supersonic uniform has pro-level fabrics and embroidery, and the Sonic Speed uniform lends itself perfectly for full body designs. We also offer fan jerseys for the perfect fundraiser. Let us make you the best dressed team on the field this fall. NSC Apparel, official uniform provider of the Bearcats and the AAL2.
Refined, restorative, results-driven. At CMX iMed Bar, we blend medicine, aesthetics, and wellness into one luxury experience, led by Dr. Angela Roque. Located in the heart of Pier Village, Long Branch. Visit cmximedbar.com or text 9089-232-694 to look better, feel better, live elevated.
If you plan to do chicken, then do chicken like a champ at Wing It On in Linden. Voted #1 medium wing sauce at the National Buffalo Wing Festival. Wing It On is family owned and operated in Linden, New Jersey, and we have an excellent array of your favorite wings and chicken done to perfection. We have the true flavor of champions at Wing It On. Stop in or order now at wingiton.com or call our store at 908-486-0910.
The Jersey Bearcats are proud to welcome the sounds of DJ Sparks for the 2025 football season. As heard on Blazing 98.5 FM, DJ Sparks is perfect for nightclubs, concerts, corporate and sporting events. Bringing the party to you. The best sounds and the best time with DJ Sparks. Contact DJ Sparks on social media, email, or by phone, and let's get the party started. DJ Sparks, proud supporter of the Jersey Bearcats.
KKT. InvestStars is now a proud sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. No matter what needs you have, F. Tarkin Jones will develop the right solution for you. See for yourself the star treatment you will get with KKT, InvestStars LLC. Call today at 201-290-4802 and be a star just like the Bearcats.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about you know I'm right, the podcast. That's my you know I'm right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
The Jersey Bearcats are back for another exciting season of AAL2 arena football. Get on board with us and follow us all year long. For information on our donations, sponsorships, and game day, and ticket information, please contact us at jerseybearcatsarenafootball@gmail.com.
While we have a break in the action, the Jersey Bearcats would like to thank the Union Junior ROTC and the U.S. Army ROTC for their support of the Bearcats in AAL2 football.
And we are back here on the PDF Sports Network. It is halftime here in this AAL2 East Divisional Championship game. The Jersey Bearcats over the Steel City Stampede, 21-8. Dave is down on field level with our Lady Bearcats spotlight, as we do during each and every Bearcats home game. We'll throw it down to Dave for a conversation with two of our Lady Bearcats.
All right, Joe, it's time for our Lady Bearcat Spotlight here at halftime. I'm here with Alexis. Alexis, tell us where you're from, how long you've been with the Bearcats.
So I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and it was very last minute joining, and it's been a very good time. I love all the girls, like the dances are so fun, and yeah.
All right, so tell me a little bit about your history around dance, around cheer. Tell me a little bit of how you got here.
So I've been dancing since I was 5 years old. Loved dancing growing up. I'm a dance teacher now. I danced for 15 years. I dance for the Brooklyn Cyclones currently, and yeah, now I'm here.
That's awesome. Very awesome. So tell me a little bit about, how does a dancer prepare to be on a team like the Bearcats? You guys obviously practicing, you have to be in peak physical condition. Tell me a little bit about that workup to being a dancer.
Honestly, it could be very intense, but just stay hydrated, work out, stay fitted, and yeah, keep practicing, build up your stamina, and yeah.
All right. What's your favorite part about being a part of this team?
The girls and the dancing.
All right.
That's about it.
All right. So you told me that you're also dancing with the Cyclones. Tell me a little bit about the professional trajectory. What do you want to do as a career? Does it involve dance?
So I do want to work in sports. I've joined the Cyclones 3 years ago, and right now I'm on the dance team, but I've learned to like the sports industry way more. So I'm just trying to build my way up, and yeah.
All right, maybe a career in PDF Sportsnet doing some broadcasting.
Maybe.
All right, she's pretty good on the mic, Joe, so maybe we'll get her on here. Alexis, thank you so much for being a part of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Joe, that was Alexis. We're going to throw it back up to you. When we come back, we have Isabella joining us.
All right, thank you, Dave, but you're not done yet. That's just one half of our Lady Bearcat Spotlight. We'll throw it right back down to Dave on field level.
All right, Joe, I am here with Isabella. Isabella, tell me a little bit about yourself and what brings you to the Jersey Bearcats dance team.
So I am an art educator from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. I go over and work in Lawrenceville every single day. And right now, summer's up, obviously, because I'm an educator. But I found the team through another friend of mine who was on it last season. And I've just been really enjoying my time with them this year.
Okay. Some of the dancers we've spoken to have been doing it their whole lives. Some have just been doing it for a year or two. What about you?
Yes, I've been dancing my whole entire life. I was with the St. Joseph's University dance team in college, went on to do 2 seasons with the Philadelphia Wings dancers, and now I'm here.
Excellent. So how does being a Lady Bearcat compare to some of your other experiences?
It's definitely a similar experience that we get to do the game day. We do a lot of behind-the-scenes work, like doing workouts, but also we have our practices, so I would say it's very comparable.
Yeah. One thing that we're learning about the Lady Bearcats is that, your dances are really intense. They involve a lot of choreography, You guys have a really big unit. Tell me a little bit about the week leading up to these performances and what that's all about.
Right. So we have a lot of rehearsal time. It just depends on how much rehearsal time we get. For instance, we're performing a dance today that we learned on Tuesday. And there's other weeks where we have like 2 weeks to rehearse. But it's been really awesome. Our coach, Angela, has been bringing in outside choreographers for our halftime routines. So those people have been awesome to work with. And I think we're all just really grateful for that experience to get some like outside choreographers to work with.
Excellent. And what does the future look like for you with dance?
I definitely want to keep doing it until I can't anymore. I'm 25 now, so I really only have like 5 to 7 years left in me, and then hopefully just keep it in my lifestyle, like stay active and just do it as long as I can. That's a big dream.
All right, and finally, Isabella, tell people at home how they can get involved with the team.
With our team, you guys can come support us. We always are advertising. We're doing another event at the Barclays Center coming up, so definitely come show out to that. We have a summer showcase that I believe is happening later in August, but definitely showing out to the games is like the biggest way to come support our team and donate.
Excellent. Isabella, it's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Yeah, you too. Thank
All right,
you.
you got it. That was Isabella. Joe, we'll throw it back up to you.
All right, thank you, Dave, and thank you to our Lady Bearcats. And Dave, with the power of editing, has managed to make it back up to the broadcast
I'm
booth.
just that fast. That's it.
He's the Flash of this broadcast duo. I'm certainly not fast. What I lack in speed, I make up for in strength. But we have a halftime guest as head coach A.J. Roque joins us. Coach, how big was that touchdown to end the half?
Oh, that was huge. That was huge. I mean, man, and we get the ball at half. I mean, that couldn't have been a bigger play, right? And they're over there complaining about the time should have run out. No. We got to understand the rules of arena football. Under a minute, it's normal football. He hit the wall, clearly. Clock stops.
So the two-play sequence leading to the touchdown. The first play required a lot of protection. Washington wide open. Then on the goal line, Mel Reed wide open. Were you saving those two in your back pocket for a situation like that?
Yes, because that was – well – Yeah, because last time when we played them, Jervon, number 2, right? Number 2 scored on that same exact play in the corner. Number 2, he was wide open. That was the same play Doug caught. And then we knew they were going to be in man because they brought in 2 backers, right? Definitely going to be in man, and that's when we went mesh and cross.
You know, AJ, usually you guys get the ball first to start a game.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, oh, my God. This is 3 years. That never happened.
Yeah, and it's weird that you're going to have the ball first here, but now with a chance, up by 13, to add and maybe insert that dagger. How big is this drive coming out of halftime?
Huge. We got to get down and get points. We have to. Keep our foot on the gas and don't let up.
All right, Coach. Great to hear from you. Good luck in the second half.
Always. Thank you, guys.
That is head coach A.J. Roque, kind enough to join us with just over a minute to go before halftime. Now, Dave, I didn't want to make the point and hammer it home, but we thought they should have had a bit more time on
absolutely.
that drive.
You got to keep your eye on the clock there, Coach. No, but you know what? Listen, they only had the handful of seconds, but they used them the way they should. They were conscious of what was happening, and, now they get to make it or try to make it a 2-for-1 and get another score out of this. This is a huge moment in the game here to start the second half.
Huge moment coming up in this game for the Bearcats. A huge weekend for us here on PDF. Very quickly, let's talk about what we have on deck this Sunday.
Yeah, so Sunday at 1:30 p.m., we have the Vetera Liga, the Finland's version of the NFL, if you will. It's their top league in the country of Finland. They play on Sunday, June 29th for us at 1:30 p.m. Joe and I will be 4,000 miles away virtually in Tampere, Finland, to see a rematch of Finland's Division I championship between Tampere Saints and the East City Giants. Joe, it's the first time. I grew up a Giants fan, right? A New York football Giants fan. And my goal in life was to call a game from Giant Stadium. Now, we don't get to do that because we're going to be in Tampere, but we get to see the Giants. I get to call a Giants football game, but I'm honored to do it in the country of Finland.
At one point, you told me that their facility was called Giant Stadium. That is not what it says on the screen.
Well, that's Painikki Athletics Field in Tampere. So we'll be at Tampere
right.
to see, a pair of 0-2 teams, Joe. But the winner of that game finds themselves right back in the middle of the standings in the Maple League, and the losing team will have a lot of ground to make up. But, folks, if you haven't watched professional football in Europe, you are missing out. And Joe and I have covered the first 2 weeks of the Maple League. It's great football and a lot of great Division I and Division II NCAA players and former NFL players playing in the Maple League.
A lot of fun calling those games. I am looking forward to Sunday's action, our third game in the Vetera Liga. We'll be covering the Maple League all season long on the PDF Sports Network. You can tune into that game via our website. Right. That website link can also be found on our YouTube page. However, due to geo-blocking restrictions, we cannot air the game on YouTube. However, you can visit YouTube to get the link to our website and find the page. I think that's the easiest way. Send them to YouTube. It links you straight there rather than finding it on the website.
And, Joe, it's a good point to make for us at PDF is that we have the ability to call games remotely now from our studios at PDF, our studios being really our homes, Joe, when you really cut it down. But
we have very nice homes.
Yeah, no matter where the game is, whether it's in Pennsylvania, down the block, 4,000 miles away in Finland, we have the ability at PDF to cover any game at any time. So it's something to keep in mind for our audience out there.
As that one is off the padding in play, and breaking it into the open field is Mel Reed. He's brought down at the 15, but Reed almost broke free. How dynamic has he been since joining this Bearcats team?
It's like he has an electrical cord attached to him, and every time he gets the ball in his hands, you plug it in, and it's just electrifying what this kid can do with the ball in his hands. Joe, it looked like he had absolutely no room on the sideline.
How did he get out of there?
You know, just a little bump or a whisper in his ear probably would have taken him out of bounds here, but how does he get out of that?
I don't know, and he almost broke free. Good pursuit by Steel City, not giving up on that play. It's very easy to get a bit relaxed. You see the return man trapped up against the boards, really not much room to run. All of a sudden, he's in the open field, and you have to chase him down from behind. Good pursuit by the Stampede to deny Jersey a touchdown on special teams, but the Bearcats will start this drive from the Steel City 15-yard line, already leading by 13. Rodriguez sends Simmons Jr. in motion, looking to throw, and is nearly picked off. Corbin had it hit him right in the chest.
Yeah, I don't know if Simmons just didn't track that, Joe, or if it was too far behind him for him to make a play.
Too far behind.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of olayed that ball as it was coming out of Rodriguez's hands. Now, Rodriguez did whip that in, so that was coming in with a lot of heat. But let's see if we could track Simmons. Yeah, it looked like Simmons just took himself away.
Drifted away.
Yeah.
So that ball, if Simmons stays put, is probably on target.
Yeah.
He started to work toward the sideline, and that opened up the potential for the interception.
And Nas Adams lost his top on that play, too. He was into block, and he had his helmet just popped right off on a helmet-to-helmet hit.
This time Rodriguez sends two in motion. He will look to throw, and he completes short. As Simmons Jr. makes the catch.
Yeah, almost the exact same play, except Simmons just sits down 5 yards up the field and cuts the yards to go in half here, just about, maybe a little bit more. So it'll be about a 3rd down and 4 coming up. But that's just a simple little toss, taking what the defense will give you.
Bearcats with a 3rd and 4. Of course, this will be 4 down territory. Ward the motion man. Rodriguez, quick throw for Ward, and he was hardly turned around yet.
Yeah, that was like a bullet that whizzed by his helmet. He must have heard it, but that was no chance there. And there's a big play coming up. 4th down and 4. You know, the Stampede could feel it here. If they get a stop and get the ball back, they're right back in the game. And we heard of how important this drive was going to be for the Bearcats, straight from Coach Roquet's mouth. A chance to insert a slow dagger here. There's a enormous play coming up, 4th and 4. And remember, Joe, you could get the 1st down here at the 5 yards, so it's not a lot of pressure here to get the ball down the field or in the end zone. All they need is the 4.5 yards.
And I think I know what the concept was on that play. I'll elaborate after this 4th down snap. 2 receivers in motion. And the snap is off the leg of a Bearcat. It's still loose, scooped up by Steel City, and still on his feet is Justin Haynes, finally brought down inside the 5.
Well, that was a disaster from the start. Got a Bearcat getting up slowly on the far side of the field. Now, not the worst thing in the world. You give the ball up, and the Stampede are inside their own 2 or 3 yard line, but that was just wrong from the start. It just looked like another one of those plays, Joe, where the snap never gets to the quarterback because it ricochets off the leg of an interior offensive lineman. We've seen that a couple times. We're going to get another look at it as well.
Well, Nick thinks there should have been an encroachment.
An encroachment,
call.
yeah. Like there was a little bit of a creep there by the defensive end. I don't know if it was enough.
Well, I think encroachment, he has to make contact.
Well, or maybe a neutral zone violation as well, Joe, because it did look like he kind of, just a flinch there. I don't know if it was enough, though.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Now, going back, I don't know if Nick replayed it. Nick, do you have a replay of the previous play, the incomplete pass? No?
No.
All right, so Coach Roquet mentioned how on the goal line, late in that first half, final play, they ran that mesh concept and got the defenders crossed. I think what they were trying to do on third down was to get the Steel City defense looking to pass off the receivers and immediately send Ward to the corner. I think that's what they were looking for on that play, and you get the ball out quickly there, not giving Ward the chance to turn. That being said, they were on the short side of the field looking to throw that pattern.
Yeah.
Not an easy completion.
Yeah, I was going to say, not a lot of open space there. At the 2 yard line, they run it on first down.
First down handoff goes to Chilton. He picks up about 2. That will bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, and it's one thing that the Stampede really haven't done in the first half was run the football. Now, we saw Smith take off with it a few times, make his own time in the pocket, and also scamper out for some decent runs. But dedicating, resources to actually running the football is not really something in their vocabulary. They did run the ball quite a bit in their regular season finale against the Bearcats. Something to keep in mind here in the second half.
Smith back in the shotgun. Chilton to his left. Singleton the motion man. Smith looking left, now throws right. And that is complete up the sideline, breaking free. It's Malik Jackson. And he's brought down just short of the Bearcats' 20.
Yeah, Stampede have taken that a few times in this game, and the Bearcats have tried to break on those and try to break things up. But that time, Tariq Pusey sells out, tries to get his hands on the football, and in so doing, loses Jackson on the sideline. Here you can see the break to it. Doesn't have a great angle on Jackson to steer him out of bounds and has to catch back up to him past midfield.
That's a pass where if you're going to throw it, you have to be decisive and get the ball out quickly. If that's not your first read or your very quick second read, these Bearcats defensive backs have shown that they're looking to jump those underneath patterns. You get it out quickly, they are giving you the cushion if you're Steel City. 1st and 10, ball at the Jersey 20-yard line. Singleton in motion. Smith looked to throw, tucks it, now looks to run. Blocking set up in front of him, but not for long as he is brought down by the horse collar. That's going to be a personal foul against the Bearcats.
Yeah, automatic first down as well, although he did get about 2 or 3 on the play. The Bearcats actually did a good job to kind of, siphon him off into the corner. They kept backing up. They didn't want to give him the big lane to rush into in the middle of the field, so they get him out into the corner, and just as he's about to turn that corner, Ramirez took him down by the collar, and it's going to be an automatic first down coming up.
Now, I don't know whether or not this could fall into the category of a horse collar. That play, obvious, a horse collar. But Smith does have a hood coming out of the back of his uniform.
And no horse. So it will be the horse collar call. I think based on the reading of lips that I'm trying to do here, Joe.
Clock's still running.
Yeah, and that I understand unless they stop it. The clock runs on penalties. It only stops on a change of possession or if the officials call for time. But how about this? You're backed up at your own 2-yard line, and in a span of 2 plays, have a 1st and goal inside the Bearcats' territory. So This game has swung momentum a few times. The Steel City Stampede have a chance to steal it back in their favor.
Pun intended?
No.
Inside of 8 minutes to go, third quarter. Steel City football inside the Jersey 10-yard line. It is 1st and goal from the 8. Singleton in motion out of the slot. Smith hands off for Chilton up the middle, and he goes nowhere. Give him maybe a yard, if that.
Yep, just power football up the middle. You hope to get a seam there. Chilton manages to get about 1 or 2 on the play, but that's about it. It'll be 2nd and goal. Remember how good the Bearcats were on the opening drive of the game for the Stampede. They stopped the Stampede 3 plays, but were whistled for a pass interference. The Steel City Stampede got 4 downs at the 1-yard line and could not punch it in.
7 minutes to go now in the third. 2nd and goal, ball at the Jersey 7-yard line. Once again, Smith in the shotgun. Chilton to his left, Singleton in motion. Smith looking left, nothing there. Pump fakes and runs out of time as he is forced into the glass.
Yeah,
for a big loss.
Good sack and a good job of the Bearcats never giving up on that play and coming in from the secondary to finish things off was Willie Gardner. Willie Gardner is actually a defensive end, but he had to kind of double around and come all the way back from the secondary to kind of catch up to him. You could see he's getting flushed out deeper and deeper. Comes back in, Jervon Young there as well, and Ramirez. And we get our first look really at Kareem Bernard coming in on the defensive end as well, taking the place of Ramirez on this 3rd and goal now, Joe, from what, about the 13-yard line? Timeout.
I think Steel City just called timeout. Yeah. They did. Now, Nick, let's run back that replay one more time. I think the first read there for Smith was a short, quick throw to the left out of the slot. Let's get one more look at it here and see if that was indeed the case. And I think that was his first look. He didn't have it. And after that, there really wasn't much because the Bearcats had a lot of bodies on the right side of the field. And once Smith was forced that way, he had no running room and was forced out. Now, it's easy to say, but knowing you don't have anything in the end zone and that you still have some life, it's only 2nd down, you have to throw that away because that's a big loss to take in that spot.
Well, you know, we've said it many times. People who have logged in and watched our games, Joe, know that we say it often that sometimes this loss of real estate benefits the offense because you get a little bit more room to work with. You can work something underneath in that underneath zone that you don't get the ability to do really when you're at the 4 or 5 yard line. So would they rather have it at the 8 than the 13? Yes, of course. But, you know, this might not be the absolute worst thing here for the Stampede because now their receivers can actually run full routes down the field, and maybe there'll be something underneath to work with. But the Bearcats are starting to get home on Smith as well. Let's keep that in mind.
I think the best position you can be in is between the 7 and the 11 with a chance for a first down inside the 5. Smith throwing, end zone too high and complete. Intended receiver was Weidman.
Yeah, and there's a lot of traffic there. You could see it on your screen. 3 black jerseys, 2 white jerseys. So you're putting the ball back there at the glass with 5 bodies all up and around. And we have a big 4th down coming up the other way. The Bearcats had one in this 3rd quarter that the Stampede stepped up and made a play for. And the Bearcats have a chance as we watch the replay of 3rd down.
That was as tight a window as you could throw into there. You had to drop that between 3 defenders, and I'm not sure there was any room. I think that was a semi-intentional throwaway in that spot.
Yep, and now if you're the Bearcats, obviously anything that the Stampede's looking to do has to be in the end zone, but be very careful about the receivers that are breaking in from about the 5, running that slant, trying to get themselves in the end zone. You really got to stay flat on that goal line.
You expect them to give a cushion. You can't give too big of a cushion. And as you said, Dave, let somebody catch it underneath and then run for the touchdown.
I think we have a official whistle. Yeah, so this is the 3rd quarter timeout, Joe.
And with this break in the 3rd quarter, we have champions running onto the field to participate in this timeout. And champions deserve championship rings. Zolnir Championship Rings is the official ring provider of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. See the incredible selection and touch of class at Zolnir. Visit Zolnir at cchampionshiprings.com. There you can see their competitive pricing, experience exceptional customer service, and always get free quotes. Zolnir Championship Rings. Give Director of Sales Joseph Khalil a call at 1-800-303-8548. Zolnir is the official ring provider of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2.
Joe, a championship ring perhaps for the winner of the potato sack race?
Perhaps.
They got the Lady Bearcats going up against the youths here in the building. I got my money on the girl in the pink pants.
All right.
She's too cute not to win this one. Joe.
Hashtag PDF Sports Bet.
Right. I like it. Oh, we got a wild start.
Got to keep your footing, though. Got to keep your footing.
One man down.
Oh, some showboating. Right. Oh, I thought the finish line was further. I thought we were about to get a reverse hop.
Well, give it up for those three young fans who'll walk away with some prizes here, courtesy of the Bearcats.
Oh, here come the T-shirts.
Ah, this is your favorite time of the game, Joe.
I need one of those black T-shirts. Well, it's not coming our way.
Right. We got one really tossed back there.
That would have been right on target if it was lined up.
Well, they see us and they're like,
We have to talk to AJ and get some.
I'm sure we'll get some
Look how
shirts.
old and cracked. This is so heavily worn.
That's right.
There have been many workouts completed in this Jersey Bearcats brick-by-brick T-shirt.
That's a throwback. It's only 3 years old, but it's a throwback.
I saw somebody wearing one on the field somewhere.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Bearcats have some really nice swag. I will say that. We saw camo jerseys this year. They go white, red, and black tonight. They got some great warm-up gear as well, and we got to get our hands on some of that stuff.
That's right. Need some of those dry-fit pregame tees they had. Coach Roquet, we're rocking one of them pregame.
What we can get, Joe, is PDF gear now, courtesy of our website and YouTube channel.
That is correct. Got to check the availability of those sleeveless hoodies, my favorite.
Good prices, too.
Two receivers in motion. Smith throwing on fourth down for the end zone. Did he catch it?
Oh, it's off the glass, Joe. I don't know if that's going to count.
It was close.
We got a really good look at it. I think he used the glass for support.
Oh, boy.
And that should be an incomplete pass if that's the case. We'll see.
This is a huge call. Rob Cornish bobbled it against the glass. Did the ball ever touch the glass?
If it touches the glass, it's incomplete. And it's as simple as that. We'll probably get another look at it. Let's see. Yeah, it did. It touched the glass. That's incomplete.
I'll tell you this for sure. His hand was definitely up against the glass, being supported by the glass, and at the very least, the ball hit his hand.
Well, you can't use the out of bounds to aid in your catch.
That would be aiding because his hand doesn't have support. If
that's
the
the letter.
There.
And it's not taking the officials long to rule. It is an
that's the
incomplete
right
pass.
Call.
Yeah,
I think that's the right call.
I think it is too. We tend to call it pretty even up here, even though we are the official broadcast partner of the Jersey Bearcats. But, yeah.
Backed a little further, I think.
I think backed a little further, but I think Nick had the right idea there when he just saw it, the ball on glass. It just looked like he was able to use the glass to trap it. And, hey, listen, in traffic, that's not the worst throw in the world.
I mean, an amazing throw just to give him a chance. Oh, yeah, that's resting on the glass, no question.
Great freeze frame there by Nick.
No
great
question that ball was resting on the glass.
So if there was any doubt by those of you at home, use replay here. But
I think they should.
They could. Well, you know, the very first time we covered the Bearcats, Joe, we actually had a monitor down there by the officials. It was not working to use it, and so we abandoned it for future contests. But I don't think we'll do it. Just because too much can go wrong, but that would have been a case where they would have went under the hood, and the ruling on the field would have been upheld, Joe. I think they made the right call.
Let's get reliable Wi-Fi, and then we'll worry about instant replay.
Absolutely.
They need to install a network extender right behind us.
I know. And
And make it password protected so the crowd can't use it.
And the crowd can't use it. And, Joe, we could be back here and call some hockey games when they put the ice down.
That sounds like fun.
Yep. A lot of high schools play here in this building.
Who's in charge of booking?
I don't know, but our business cards are up on the bulletin board somewhere. Might have to re-up those, but we are the official broadcast home of the Rockets Hockey Club in Bridgewater, New Jersey.
For now.
2 youth teams, yeah. Hope to be back for season number 4 with them.
Bearcats throw on first down, pass complete to Kyle Ward, and he is stood up by 3 Stampede defenders at the 15.
Yeah, and I think what the Bearcats are trying to do here, Joe, is just, throw it underneath, and eventually they're going to want to take the top off this defense. You start getting the Stampede cheating up a little bit, playing down. The coverage has been good pretty much all game by the Stampede, but you just get the feeling that the Bearcats are setting up for something deep down the field.
You're at the point in the game now where if you're the Bearcats, you have to feel like you're 1 score away from putting this one away.
Defensively, they've been sound, and if they can go up by 3 scores, you got to feel really good. This third quarter is coming to an end.
They've just been so good, backed up against their own end zone the last 2 weeks. Rodriguez, flush to his left, completes. That one caught along the sideline by Manny Stewart for a Bearcats first down, and inside the Steel City 20.
That's a nice throw by Rodriguez under pressure, too. He was kind of, had to dance around in the backfield, and to throw that while your feet are moving, maybe even backwards, that's tough. We know that Rodriguez has plenty of zip on his passes, but to do this on the run like this, the little tapping of the feet in the backfield, that's a nice pass.
Inside of 3 minutes to play in the third quarter, first down Bearcats at the Steel City 19. Ward the motion man, Rodriguez looking that way, running out of time, and fires one into the Stampede bench.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Dustin Singleton is a wide receiver, but even he ducked out of that pass. That was a laser beam right into the bench area of the Stampede.
He almost took that one right to the dome.
You should mention there are 2 minutes and 30 seconds and counting remaining in this third quarter, so it's officially that time of the game where the Stampede have 2 opponents, the Bearcats and the clock, and the Bearcats, who like to work pretty quickly, are now taking every second off of the play clock that they can.
We approach 2 minutes to go in quarter number 3. Second down and 10 for the Bearcats. The Stampede leaning upon their defense for a big stop once again. 2 receivers in motion. Rodriguez throws that way, complete. Simmons Jr. Flags come out.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Steven Nelson for holding, Joe. He's been having a tough time with Tyrone Purcell, who is actually one of the new Stampede players on this team, number 99, right in the middle of your screen. And it's going to negate what would have been a really good play, a gain of about 8 or 9 yards. We'll see it. Yeah, look, he just takes Nelson with him, and Nelson kind of held on to for dear life.
That will back Jersey up just shy of midfield. They spot the ball at the Steel City 24-yard line. And you have to feel pretty good now if you're the Stampede, putting the Bearcats in this position. That being said, I always say it, but you're right in that sweet spot now where you can throw down the field between the 15 and the 25. Once again, 2 receivers in motion. Rodriguez looking deep, throws downfield, broken up.
That's a heck of a defensive play that time by Cornish. And, if that's led a little bit more towards the corner, maybe Ward can run under it a little bit, but it kind of held up there, and Cornish was able to reach up near his face mask and break that one up.
It was good coverage. I think they needed a perfect throw to score there.
Yeah, he had to slow his route down.
Maybe
just
not perfect. They needed a better throw. There was some room, but good recovery there by Cornish.
Listen, you get the single coverage against the wide receiver who's got a lot of motion back there in Ward. That's not an easy play to defend. It was well defended by Cornish.
Not easy to defend at all. Once again, 2 men in motion. Rodriguez gets it out, complete, Stewart. And he's going to be 2 yards short of a first down.
Yeah, it'll be 4th down and about 2 or 3 like you mentioned, Joe, and that's a good play. And that is the end of the third quarter to boot. Same score as our halftime score.
A good play, and also the final play of quarter number 3. We'll take a quick 2-minute break. Bearcats lead it entering the fourth, 21-8.
Jersey Bearcats football is brought to you by Pino's Bakery. Located at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle, Pino's is your prime stop for specialty cakes, pastries, and deli delights. Always fresh and made to order, our family-owned shop prides itself on bringing our kitchen into your homes and your heart. Pino's is where family, tradition, and goodness are a daily thing. Visit us at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle or online at pinosbakery.net. Thank you to our friends at Pino's Bakery.
If you plan to do chicken, then do chicken like a champ at Wing It On in Linden. Voted #1 medium wing sauce at the National Buffalo Wing Festival. Wing It On is family owned and operated in Linden, New Jersey, and we have an excellent array of your favorite wings and chicken done to perfection. We have the true flavor of champions at Wing It On. Stop in or order now at wingiton.com or call our store at 908-486-0910.
Refined, restorative, results-driven. At CMX iMed Bar, we blend medicine, aesthetics, and wellness into one luxury experience, led by Dr. Angela Roque. Located in the heart of Pier Village, Long Branch. Visit cmximedbar.com or text 9089-232-694 to look better, feel better, live elevated.
The Jersey Bearcats are proud to welcome the sounds of DJ Sparks for the 2025 football season. As heard on Blazing 98.5 FM, DJ Sparks is perfect for nightclubs, concerts, corporate and sporting events. Bringing the party to you. The best sounds and the best time with DJ Sparks. Contact DJ Sparks on social media, email, or by phone, and let's get the party started. DJ Sparks, proud supporter of the Jersey Bearcats.
The New York State Little League Baseball Championship is back on the PDF Sports Network. Coverage begins on Sunday, July 20th, and continues all week long as 8 teams of New York's most talented Little Leaguers compete for a spot at regionals in Bristol, Connecticut. The welcome parade, skills competition, and all 15 games will stream live on our YouTube channel at PDF Sportsnet. Don't miss a single pitch on the home of the New York State Little League Baseball Championship, the PDF Sports Network. And we are back from the Waranenko Sports Arena following a performance by the Lady Bearcats in between the third and fourth quarters. Our score entering quarter number 4, the Bearcats 21 and the Stampede 8. Dave, you get the sense that for the Steel City defense, they have to have a stop. If the Bearcats are able to convert and go on to score, I think that very likely puts this game away with Jersey going up 3 possessions in the fourth. Their defense has been fantastic. It's really hard to envision them giving up 3 scores.
Yeah, because you just wonder if you're going to get the ball back 3 times at this point. And remember, the Bearcats can still whittle away a lot of time on this because even if they get the first, they'll have 4 more downs to score. So this is a big play here. 4th down and about a long 3 coming up. And it could mean the game for the Stampede or their last gasp here to get back into it.
4th down and a long 2, maybe 3. 2 men in motion. Fake handoff. Rodriguez flushed to his right. Looking. End zone. Caught. Touchdown. Todd Simmons Jr.
Great look. Great look by Rodriguez. He had Kyle Ward in the flat as an option, but he had Simmons going across the field as well. And it was a laser of a pass, but Simmons, knowing he's going to run into the glass and take a shot from something that won't be moving anytime soon, a great job to hang on to it.
That was a rope from Rodriguez. He actually could have thrown that ball sooner, but the pressure forced him to roll out to his right, and he was able to roll into that throw. He did not have a big window. That space along the side of the end zone closing quickly as the snap came early.
Well, it came early, but there was still a Stampede player So they might decline this penalty or they're going to whistle it dead.
Yeah.
That was the best extra point we've seen in a long time, Joe. Chris Gulo's
Easily.
like, come on, that's got to count.
So they'll try it again here.
So trying to do some mental math here. Yeah, I think 1 is the right call here. Go up by an even 20 instead of 19 or 21 with a Stampede team that does not have a kicker. It's good.
That one, a roof grazer on the way down. Perfectly done by Chris Gulo. And the Bearcats go in front 28-20.
Yeah, and it's
28-8.
28-8, yeah.
28-20, where did I get that?
20-point lead.
That's where I got it from, 28-20. Where did that come from?
And the 20 points is crucial because there's going to have to be a 2-point conversion in there somewhere for the Stampede as well. So that's why we talk about these extra points meaning a lot. And, you know, the Bearcats tonight have a 2-point conversion and a couple of 1s as well. So that's 4 points that they've added on. But you're right, Joe, from before, now it becomes a big comeback for the Stampede if they want any chance to get back in, and they're going to have to score and score quickly here. And they really haven't proven that they can really, well, first of all, they only have the 1 score in the game, but they really haven't been able to get that 1 or 2 plays. You know, their drives have been more, you know, labor intensive, let's just put it that way.
That's a lot like what we saw from the War Eagles last week, long, methodical drives, but the same issue has plagued both teams. They had a key turnover, which set the Bearcats up, and they haven't been able to punch it in down around the end zone. They've had plenty of chances, and time may be running out on them with 14 minutes to go. A quick score, however, as that one is sent it to the Bearcats bench. A quick score keeps them in it, and I think if there's one thing that went their way, it's that the Bearcats score early here in the 4th. It gives you a chance, and that's all you can ask for. But if you're the Stampede, you now have to really be considering how quickly you're moving on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you're able to score here in the next 2-3 minutes, 11 minutes left in the game, all right, now you've given yourself a fighting chance. But, you know, at this point, if you're the Stampede, you can't really think about running the football anymore or doing anything like a power run game here. You got to look to get big chunks of yards at a time. And if you're the Bearcats, all you really have to do is just stick to what you've been doing, get pressure on the quarterback. You know this is going to be one-dimensional. And now, Joe, for the first time, we see a ball go out of bounds, and now the ball's at the other 20-yard line. So finally, we see what we thought was the case when the balls go out of bounds. It should be placed on the nearer side of the 20.
Well, the question is, why now?
I don't know. I mean,
there had to be a reason.
We have a new quarterback in the game.
A change at quarterback. Darnell Goddard. Now the signal caller. He goes deep on his first throw, and it's caught. Touchdown Stampede. Boogie Weidman from Darnell Goddard.
You have to think that was a breakdown because Barry Turner had really soft coverage. I don't know if he was expecting safety help on that, Joe, or not, but that was a little bit too easy. Now, granted, it was a great throw by Goddard and a nice little catch there by Weidman, his first catch in a while. But, yeah, you just see it's kind of soft, Joe. Turner's kind of just like jogging up to him. I don't know if there was just a breakdown there in coverage.
Well, I said all you could hope for is a chance late, down 3 scores. The Stampede get in the end zone on just 1 play. Now Singleton, the motion man. Goddard throws right, and that is over everything.
Yeah, Goddard just reared back and tossed that. No chance, but it does get the lead down to 14, and Joe, only 53 seconds went off the clock for that drive. So, I mean, if you had to dial it up, that's exactly what you dial up. A bad kickoff starts the drive at the 20, and it's a 1-play, 20-yard drive. And just like that, the Stampede are 1 play away from getting themselves back in this game. You know, a turnover here or a fumble or something. It's a new game again.
And on that conversion attempt, Sel Johnson had a distinct size advantage working on the outside, and Goddard put it too high even for him. But he had the matchup advantage in that spot. And a missed opportunity there, putting the ball up over his head. But if you're the Stampede, you can't ask for a better drive than that. One play, touchdown, get the ball right back to the Bearcats and give your defense a chance to try and make something happen on that side of the ball, because any drive that went on for an extended length of time there was going to put them in an incredibly difficult spot. And as you said, it all started with the kickoff, as this one is received by Reed. Reed cuts back toward the opposite sideline, has blocking. Reed still on his feet, breaks free, and is tripped up at the 15.
Wow, what a gorgeous tackle made on the play. But Reed was that close to making it a 20-plus point game again. The tackle was made by number 21, who we do not have on our roster, but Mr. Electricity himself, Joe, and maybe we have a player of the game brewing here, who scored a huge touchdown right before half, and wow.
I said it earlier, Dave. I'm not sure why the ball was spotted at the 20 and plus territory ahead of that last Stampede drive, but assuming that the normal practice is to spot it at the 20, I'm kicking it out of bounds every time.
Makes sense.
Every time.
Yeah, unless you're going to drop a cannon to the opposite, goal line, which is hard with this roof.
It's because of the roof. That's why I'm kicking it out of bounds. If there's no roof, you can put it back near the end zone. And they'll toss it here. Washington bounces off one tackle and not another, as he was taken down by 3 Stampede defenders.
Yeah, we might not see it on the replay, Joe, but Mateo Rodriguez was flattened after he pitched that ball, and the Bearcats wanted a personal foul for the Stampede taking a shot at Rodriguez after he pitched that ball off, but it's going to result in a loss of 2. Let's keep our eye on it. Oh, yeah. I mean, it wasn't a hard shot, but it was enough.
I would not like a call on that spot.
Yeah.
Not in a playoff game this late. I don't think you can make that call.
Yeah, well, they agree with you, Joe. There was no flag, and it was a loss of 2.
If it was a lead with the shoulder, yes, but not a push. Second down, and about 12 to go. 11 minutes on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Bearcats lead at 28-14. 2 receivers in motion. Rodriguez wanted to throw quickly and instead throws it away.
Yeah, and that's the throwaway that you've been asking for a couple of times, Joe, when a quarterback is in trouble tonight. And that time, Rodriguez knows the clock's going to continue to run no matter what. So get rid of it, live to see another day. It'll be 3rd and 12.
If you're the Stampede, now's the time that you have to get off the field. Can they get a first down? Yes, they can inside the 5. And I think if the Bearcats were to pick up a first down here, the clock that they would take with them is going to be backbreaking for Steel City. However, if you can get Jersey into 4th down, you have a chance to get off the field and give the ball back to your offense if you're the Stampede. Huge play here on 3rd and 12. Adams lined up in front of Rodriguez as he sends Simmons in motion. It was a low snap, but Simmons is wide open for the touchdown.
Yeah, and a great job by Rodriguez to see him after picking up a really bad snap. That one went right off the turf into his hands, and he had to make a great play.
Well, Dave, I think we may have our player of the game.
I was going to say, that's number 2.
That's number 3.
3, okay.
I believe that's 3.
And a late flag comes out as well at the end of it. But yeah, listen, the Stampede twice got themselves back in this game, and the Bearcats just keep breaking their heart, Joe, with plays like this.
If my mental recollection is correct, it's Rodriguez rushing, Reed at the end of the half, and then Simmons 3 times.
Yeah. I'm with that. I'm trying to remember the first half touchdown, but that works. I think you're right, though. I think
Simmons has 3. That's why we need the statistician here the day of the game. I know Lewis would love to help us. Bearcats back in front by 20 pending the extra point.
Remember, the clock continues to run. You could see it at the top of your screen as well.
I thought they stopped it.
No,
on
it's
PATs.
always after the PAT.
That PAT is up and good.
Yeah.
Bearcats by 21.
And now, Joe, you have to think you're feeling in really, really good position here. 8:53 to go. You wonder if Stampede's even going to get the ball back 3 times. But remember, this was a team that was down by 20 way back in 2023 against this Bearcats team, and they came back and won the game.
And we have reached our 4th quarter timeout. And let's talk about where I went to dinner last night, because we know where the lucky winners of this event are going, and it's Applebee's of Linden. I was at Applebee's as well last night, getting to enjoy some great food, but Applebee's of Linden is sponsoring a free dinner for 2 for every Jersey Bearcats home game this season. And with amazing drink specials and delicious food, it's where we all should be headed after the game. Make sure to visit our friends at Applebee's of Linden, located at 671 West Edgar Road in Linden. With eat-in, car side to go, and delivery options, Applebee's of Linden has got the food covered. Visit Applebee's and tell them the Jersey Bearcats sent you.
Joe, I want to send a shout out to my wife Jen and our kids at home, Liliana and Sabrina, who are watching us tonight here on the PDF Sports Network. Little Friday night football for you folks at home.
Are they watching from the studio?
They're watching from the 70-inch in the living room. So up close and personal and on the big screen. And, you know, Joe, it's a little rarity for us. I mean, these last 3 weeks doing games on Friday night, these games are usually on Saturday, but every other AAL2 playoff game will be tomorrow. So this is the marquee matchup for the AAL2, and all eyes on our game here tonight.
Friday night football. Not very often that you get Friday night football in the NFL.
No.
Not many leagues can claim Friday night football.
Yeah, we did some for Old Bridge High School, high school Friday night lights and all that. But
that's high school.
Yeah, no, it's obviously a very different element. But
we're headed back soon. We're not too far away. When do they start their season? Early mid-September?
Yeah, I would say, mid-September. We'll be back with the Old Bridge Knights in Old Bridge, New Jersey for high school football. And this summer we have the Elite Football Alliance, semi-pro outdoor football, and we are the official broadcast partner of the Jersey Sharks, semi-professional outdoor football team that plays out of the League of All Leagues. The Jersey Sharks, the 2023 champions of the LAL, and we're a playoff team last year, and we'll be back there for their games in Edison, New Jersey.
Plenty to come on the PDF Sports Network throughout the summer, but you know Nick and I are partial to one of our events coming up.
Talk about it.
In just about a month. The New York State Little League Baseball Championship comes to the PDF Sports Network beginning on July 20th. Nick and I will be with you all week long. Nick Bavona, our engineer tonight, he and I will cover all 12 games of pool play, the skills competition, and then we will be joined by Aaron Cohen for the semifinals and championship game at the end of the week. Don't miss a single pitch on the home for the New York State Little League Baseball Championship right here on the PDF Sports Network. The winner of the state championship moves on to regionals in Bristol, Connecticut. South Shore Little League moved on to Williamsport before ultimately losing to the eventual champion, Florida.
Yeah, we get a lot of eyes on that tournament, and for good reason. 8 teams from all over the New York State come down to Staten Island to try and battle it out. And for extra measure, Joe and Nick will cover the softball championships as well, with the top teams from all around New York playing in that championship. And in between all that, you and Nick will have the call on the AAL2 2025 championship. So that promises to be a great couple of weeks here on PDF.
Double duty on July 26th. As Singleton runs it back out across midfield. He's brought down at the Bearcats' 22.5-yard line.
Joe, we should mention, too, that one of the new things that we have on PDF Sports Network is the opportunity to put our games behind the paywall on pay-per-view. And we know there are a lot of people who have asked us in the past, hey, we'd love for you to cover our games, but we'd like to do it on a pay-per-view model. Well, now PDF has the ability to do that.
So do we break the news now or in 8 minutes if necessary?
8 minutes if necessary, I
Okay.
think. Now, there was a penalty at the end of the touchdown, Joe, that the Bearcats scored. So they've added yardage here. And again, look at this starting field position for the Stampede. So if you ever have an excuse to get back in a football game, you have a 1st and 10 from the 13 to start.
They could sure use another quick strike touchdown. Goddard remains in at quarterback, 2 men in motion, 4 receivers on the field. Goddard, end zone broken up.
Yeah, good job by Kyle Ward, who does a great job on the offensive side of the field. Didn't lead him enough, Weidman, and it'll be 2nd down.
They got the one-on-one coverage over the middle, and when you have 4 receivers out there on the field, you're almost forced to play man coverage if you're the Bearcats. Really tough in this area of the field. They have just enough room where I don't think you can drop into the zone with the 4 receivers out there. At the very least, that 4th receiver helps neutralize that pass rush a bit. It will be 2nd down and 10 for Steel City. Clock ticks down towards 7 minutes. Once again, 2 receivers in motion. Goddard rolling to his right, running out of time, throws, end zone touchdown.
Wow.
It's Boogie Weidman once again. Steel City will not go away as they have cut the Bearcats' lead back down to 15.
And Darnell Goddard is one of those 9 new faces for the Steel City Stampede. He's been in a backup role this whole game, and all he's done since coming into the game is thrown 2 touchdowns in about 7 minutes, in about a 7-minute span. And you can't do much better than that against this Bearcats team.
Goddard will look to throw for the 2-point conversion,
that was
and
a heater.
flag comes out.
Yeah, that was going to be on Pusey for maybe hand on the back of Smith, who's now playing wide receiver. And they'll get another opportunity to do this from a yard closer. They bring in the run game. A couple of running backs here, and Chilton and Davis coming in. Now, I was told that the number 29 was Sadiq Davis, another new face on this team, but it's not the name on the back of the jersey.
This is a big one, Dave, because if you don't get this, you're going to need 2 2-point conversions,
yes,
assuming no kicker.
Right.
And
that's a good assumption.
There is a change at quarterback.
Yeah, it's Smith back in, and he's going to go under center. And you wonder if this is a tush push here, Joe. 1 yard out.
It sure looks like it.
Yep.
Drop the ball. They fumble the snap.
Ball's
it's loose in the end zone and covered up by the Bearcats.
You don't see that often.
Well,
especially on what you don't see often, Joe, is these quarterbacks going under center. So it's unorthodox because that's the first time we've seen a Stampede quarterback go under center, and that's the price you pay. Just not used to that exchange.
Yeah, as close as we typically get to a quarterback under center is the pistol. I think we've seen that maybe once tonight.
Yeah, and the point that you bring up is a good one too, Joe, because now it's a 15-point game. And if you're the Stampede, sure, you do have the ability to get the ball twice. You have to be like really, really, convenient with how you use the clock. And when you think about it, the 2 touchdown drives that they had are just, they took no time off the clock. So you would almost think, Joe, that, the Stampede shouldn't be in this game. But because the Bearcats set them up on the short field and they were able to score essentially on one play, they're back in the game.
6:10 to go. Do you consider the onside kick now? I think you have to.
How many timeouts? 2 timeouts left? I don't know. I don't really. I don't know. I don't know if I would. I want to get the ball back in good field position. But I understand your point because the defense really hasn't been able to stop the Bearcats either.
Well, I think that was an attempt at an onside kick.
but it was whistled before the kick, which either the Stampede got off to a false start or something was awry.
Well, they're going to try again. Couldn't tell if that was an onside kick attempt or if the foot of the kicker, Johnson, contacted the turf, and he sends one up into the netting.
Yeah, and that's been a recurring theme in this game as well. Now we'll see where they spot the ball. And again, the spot at the 20 was maybe because there was a penalty that one time that put the ball up. But yeah, because it looks like the Bearcats are starting at their own 20.
Well, if you can kick it out of bounds and give it to Jersey at the 20, I take back the onside suggestion. I kick it out of bounds and give it to him at the 20.
Yeah, and that makes sense, too, for the Stampede, because by kicking it out of bounds, the clock never started. So it'll start at the beginning of this play. There are 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in regulation time. And the Stampede, it's obvious, they need a 3 and out or they need a turnover here if they want to get the ball back twice.
I think looking to get the ball back twice, you can't afford to give up a first down.
No, I agree with you. And you have to sell out to get that turnover. You got to think the Bearcats might run the football a little bit here, and if so, you got to get your hands on the ball and try to jar it loose or step in front of a pass.
First down, Bearcats. Ball at their own 20. 2 receivers in motion, Washington and Simmons Jr. as they toss it to Adams, and Adams picked up 2. Second and 8.
But that starts the clock back up, and they'll take the full breadth of the play clock after a very minimal gain of 1. And a little bit surprising to me that they worked the pitch, Joe, because so much can go wrong on the pitch, too. It's a very routine play. You should make it 99.9 times out of 100, but you just run that risk of the pitch being errant and risking a fumble there.
Second and 8, maybe 9. 5.5 minutes to go. Rodriguez in the shotgun, flanked by Adams. 2 receivers deep in the offensive backfield. Likely to be sent in motion as the snap came early, and they'll throw it away. Now, well, is there intentional grounding in arena?
There should be.
Well, there was definitely a miscommunication there in terms of the snap count.
Yeah, well, everybody was expecting kind of a false start or an offside, but when the center snaps the ball and nobody moves, that's a live ball.
That's a live ball followed by intentional grounding.
And they're going to move the ball up, Joe, because there was a penalty on the defense. Could it be? Now there is.
Well, there's a flag.
Well, there's a flag.
I think that's intentional grounding. I didn't see anything on the line of scrimmage that would be a penalty on the defense.
And just for the record, they have stopped the clock with 5:03 to go. Grounding is the call. So that should be 10 yards and loss of down, right? So this should be a 3rd down, and it's actually a 5-yard penalty. So it'll be a 3rd down and 14.
Well, that is a gift.
Yeah, and the clock is stopped. Let's not forget the clock is stopped. Now they want to now they want to get it started. But still, that's a perfect play if you're the Stampede, and now it's 3rd down and 14.
Under 5 minutes to play. Bearcats line up in the shotgun once again. 2 receivers deep in the offensive backfield. Rodriguez taking his time, wisely so. He will send 2 men in motion and will look to throw. And down goes Washington. That one nearly picked off. Shaheem Bacon was there as Washington lost his footing.
Ooh, now they want to stop the clock again because I believe the Stampede may have called for timeout.
They're going to put 4:26 on the clock. Timeout, Steel City.
Okay, so now they're down to 1 by our count. And the Bearcats on a 4th down and 14 at risk of losing this drive on downs and giving the ball back to the Stampede, and they do have time now.
looks like there's a discussion going on about Steel City using a timeout.
Well, they immediately stopped the clock once that.
I think the Stampede are arguing that they did not use a timeout previously.
Oh, I see. Well, they certainly did. I remember it clear as day. By our count, they have 1 left and 4 minutes and 26 seconds left. A lot of our audience has hung in, Joe, as we see the count. And it's a good thing, too, because this game is not over. Big play coming up here.
About half of them stuck around. 2 receivers in motion. Rodriguez looking downfield, running out of time, throws deep, looking for Ward, intercepted. Picked off by the Stampede. No number 13 on our roster,
yeah,
however.
Quarterback.
You're right.
Yeah, at least that's our belief, is it, Smith?
True.
But wow, Joe, how about this? The Stampede have had the ball twice in great starting field position with Goddard at quarterback, and they've struck for a touchdown both times on laser passes in the end zone. And how about this? It's like deja vu all over again.
If they score here, Dave, all of a sudden things get very interesting.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man.
That being said, they have to have the 2.
Yeah, and it is interesting at this point.
Goddard under heavy pressure, and his helmet comes off, gave himself up, and the flag comes out.
Yeah, and there may be even more coming out as well, and that's a poor play by the Bearcats because Goddard gave himself up, and then someone snagged the helmet. I don't know if it was intentional, but
that is a tough call.
All you got to do is play two-hand touch at that point. Once you see Goddard go down, you just play two-hand touch, and he's down. Yeah, and there's some extra. Oh, yeah, and then the throw into the face. So these might be offsetting.
He gave himself up, but there wasn't much.
It wasn't much, but
as a defender in that situation, you're trying to take the quarterback down. Quarterbacks in the pocket don't very often give themselves up in that fashion. I probably don't throw that flag. I can see why they did. The helmet came off, and there was definitely something that transpired after the play as well. But
Yeah, we got a good look at it, and that's the part that the officials did not catch was Goddard retaliating and throwing the ball up in Javon Young's face.
Well, they called a personal foul against the Stampede, so they got it.
Yeah, there's the doink into his head. But I think what they did, Joe, was
they offset the penalty on the Bearcats.
Well, I don't know
because of him throwing the football into the face mask.
Unless both penalties were assessed, and so
I think
that's what they're going for, Joe. Is what down this should be and what's the yards to go. If you're going to count both penalties, it's going to be a 1st and 13. This drive started at the 21. It's now at the 24-yard line where he gave himself up. So it's almost like the sack counted, Joe. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from where the sack took place.
Clock begins to run just inside of 4 minutes. 2 receivers in motion. Goddard looking, under pressure, throws high, incomplete.
Yeah, Goddard got hit as he let go of the ball, and that's what caused the errant pass as well. Coming in was Hungerford on the blitz. And the Stampede really want to hurry up now, Joe, and get back to the line of scrimmage and run another play. Goddard throws that ball with some heat, but now we have a timeout whistled. And for now, it's an official timeout because of an injury.
Yeah, Singleton headed off the field, but you've seen it now the last several plays, Dave. The Bearcats have really turned up the pressure. They're looking to blitz.
Yeah. Well, they see Goddard. He doesn't have a large stature back there in the pocket, so if you could get in his face, disrupt his passing lanes, force what you did on first down, and then an errant pass that last play, but it's 2nd down and 10. And
Clock winding toward 3 minutes now.
I was going to say, remember, all this is happening while the clock is running.
Stampede are running out of time quickly. They have just one timeout. Goddard looks downfield, nobody home.
Yeah, and at this point, Joe, the Bearcats are bringing in 5. So they only have 3 back there with 3 and wide receivers running deep routes, and there's always going to be the safety valve here close to the line of scrimmage. But it's working because Goddard at this point is just putting up a couple of prayers down the field, hoping for somebody to get under something.
Well, sending 5 is very, very dangerous.
Yeah, well, we'll see what they do here now on 3rd and 10. They got to hurry here. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining and counting.
3rd down, Steel City. 10 to go for a first. Once again, 2 receivers in motion. 4-man rush, throw downfield, too high. Incomplete, the intended target, Malik Jackson.
Yeah, and on just about every play, Goddard has to peel himself off the turf, Joe, because he's taking some shots. The Bearcats know that in order to get the Steel City Stampede off this field, they're going to have to put enormous pressure, and now we are inside of 2 minutes. Stampede want to go quickly here. It's 4th down and 10, and this is the game right here for the Stampede. If they want any sort of life, they got to convert.
This is the game. This is their season on the line. The Bearcats looking to move one step closer to a second championship. Goddard throws deep in traffic, broken up, incomplete, and the Stampede will turn it over on downs.
Tariq Pusey gets the honors of breaking that one up. The pass defense with 1:20 remaining in the game, and with only 1 timeout remaining and the 1-minute warning, it looks like this could be curtains for Steel City Stampede, as this one is almost in the books, and the Bearcats closing in on their 3rd straight victory over Steel City in the playoffs.
Bearcats with 1:20 to go just need to move this ball forward twice, and this game is over. Maybe get a first down, including the 1-minute warning. Keep in mind, Jersey does have to pick up positive yardage to keep the clock running inside of a minute.
Yeah, you wonder if the Stampede will call timeout right after this play to maybe get a couple before the 1-minute warning, but it hardly matters.
Yeah, I think they're just out of time, Dave.
Yep, agreed.
Stewart was the motion man. They fumble the snap, and Rodriguez is able to secure it as he is slammed down to the turf, Dave. I think I may have spoken too soon.
Is it me, or did Xavier Unique look like he had a beat on that snap, or what? I mean, he was in the backfield before the ball was. That was some jump. I can't believe there wasn't a flag. Now there is, Joe. Now they've whistled it. Yeah, offside on the play. That's a good call. It'll be 1st and 5.
That's a good look from our engineer, Nick Bavona.
Should get us to the 1-minute warning, too.
.105 on the clock right now.
Well, they shouldn't hurry to the line, the Bearcats. This is going to be the 1-minute warning. They'll probably just reset and get it started again. How that clock got to 59.7, I don't know.
They'll have to do that manual reset back up to a minute. There it is.
There we go. Looks like for all intents and purposes, we'll be back here in 2 weeks. But Bearcats won't know who they play until Saturday's game.
Handoff Ward. And I think he picked up positive yardage, forcing the Stampede to call timeout.
Yeah. Timeout Stampede. That'll be the final timeout by our count. 53.7 seconds remaining in the game. The Bearcats up by 15.
That is the final timeout for the Stampede.
So this will be the 7th straight win by the Bearcats over the Stampede. They'll go to 3-0 over Steel City this season. And as we mentioned, they've played in the playoffs all 3 years. The Bearcats, I believe the final was 39-18 in the AAL2's first championship that we covered in Pennsylvania. And then it was 40-0 last year in the playoffs. And the Bearcats are going to take another multi-score victory if this score holds. And at this point, the Stampede can no longer stop the clock. So all you got to do is fall forward with the football here.
Or 2 receivers in motion. Rodriguez keeps, and he surges up the middle for a first down and more. He's brought down inside the 5.
You could fall forward or take a quarterback keeper through a gap for 25 yards.
Yeah,
take your pick.
There was never a doubt they were trying to score again.
Well, still, it's a high percentage play, and yeah, they're going to line up quickly, and they're going to look to add some more insult to injury here.
Yeah, they're going to try and score again. Never a doubt. 2 receivers in motion. Rodriguez will keep it again. Lowers his shoulder, is stood up, and is just short of the goal line.
And with 17 seconds, we have a timeout called.
Never a doubt. Not for a
Yeah,
second.
and the only thing, Joe, that bothers me about this as we see flags come out is that reason right there. Because now you're enabling something bad to happen. You know what I mean? And I understand teams want to score, but remember, you still have your starting quarterback in the game, and he's running with the football. So, you know, one of these guys on Stampede decide, hey, I'm sick of this, and wants to do something cheap or dirty, you could really get somebody hurt in this situation. Now, we do have a penalty. It's a personal foul against the Bearcats, so they're going to back them up here. But 15.7 seconds left, and I think, you know, obviously the game is over. The only thing in doubt is the final score and whether the Bearcats can tack on some more points.
Well, there was no question that they were going to try and score here, at least in my mind.
Well, we say it all season, Joe. Like, the Bearcats don't really change their identity. They don't change who they are, and this is who they are. They're going to play until the final whistle. Try and score, try to get stops.
Well, I'll tell you, the addition of more quarterback running into the play calling has really changed this offense and has helped them each of these last 2 weeks as that snap once again went awry. Play blown dead.
And now it's Dwayne Larkin, who went off with an injury earlier in the game, getting up very slow and without a helmet. And, you know, I know, Joe, that you can't take a knee in this situation, but get out of here with the win. At this point, you don't want to risk anything. You don't want to risk an injury.
I agree.
Yeah. Games are too important, and there are 2 weeks between games now, between these playoff rounds. Tomorrow night, the Michigan Avengers will play the Pittsburgh Outlaws. The winner of that game will be here 2 weeks from tonight for the Northeast Championship.
14.3 to go. Bearcats still trying to add on. Stewart was the motion man. They toss it.
Rodriguez got hammered.
Adams. I mean, they set him up there as Adams nearly got in.
Now, it's going to be at the 1. The clock stops with 4.7. They'll add half the distance on the personal foul. And now Rodriguez mixing it up with the coaching staff, but they shake hands.
I mean, they set him up to get clobbered there.
Yeah. And again, if you're the Stampede, do you take that shot if not for the fact that the Bearcats are looking to grind in another score?
Was it a shove or was it a shoulder tackle?
Well, it was, yeah, I think it was a little bit more than a shove. Yeah, no,
that's taking the shot.
Yeah, and maybe Rodriguez.
Can you really blame them, though?
No, I don't. I don't at all. And I think that's the risk that you take when you try and continue to punch it in here this late in the game.
Well, the ball's now at the 24.
This is going to be nice to score later on. What was Lou's number for those stats?
Yeah.
He's more than
Nick's
welcome.
shaking his head.
He's more than welcome to come on game days.
Is that a vote of no confidence, Nick?
Nick will have to be a spotter as engineer/spotter.
They've formed quite the stats duo for basketball.
Sure do.
I know how much Nick loves doing stats.
All right, 4.7, last play, Joe, I think.
I hope. Handoff up the middle. Adams still on his feet, still going, and finally is still going. Still going. Play blown dead.
We got stuff going on here, Joe, at the 25. Xavier Unique took a shot at Mateo Rodriguez, and now both teams are going to have to get separated. They did not award them the touchdown.
They did not.
Yeah, the play was whistled dead. And at this point, we want to try and get handshakes.
Is this really surprising?
It's not. It's not. And I understand it. Look, it's the end of their season for the Stampede, and most of the Stampede players are doing the right thing. They're shaking hands. They're hugging it out, but some are going to the locker room. And now there's some. Oh, no, there's all friendly fire going on down there.
Well, once these two teams are separated, we'll have Nick go grab our player of the game.
We got everything on video, too, so you can always review it. The league officials can, and both teams can, and perhaps it's one to grow on, Joe, because this game should have been over a little while ago, and it's going to go final with this score.
All right, Nick's headed down. So what I'm going to do is slide over and take over his chair. And once he gets the headset on Todd Simmons Jr., Dave, it's all yours.
All right.
I'll monitor your levels, make sure we're all good.
We're also going to have, I'm sure we'll have Coach K, obviously. And then we might have Coach Roque join us. And then we're going to have another special guest at the end of this. So don't go anywhere as well. We'll have a very special guest join us. But once again, our final score, 35-20. And it is official that 2 weeks from tonight, the Bearcats will take on either the Pittsburgh Outlaws or the Michigan Avengers. That game will be on Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Oh, you see it on your screen now. There it is, Jervon Young in the picture. But we don't know who the opponent will be, but it will be the Bearcats right here in their home arena. So join us 2 weeks from tonight, 8 o'clock, as we will have the Northeast Championship. The Bearcats 2 wins down and 2 more to go to lift the AAL2 Championship trophy. But overall, it's an AAL2 semifinal matchup between those two teams. The Southern Division Championship is the other semifinal, and then the 2 semifinal winners match up in the AAL2 Championship.
So do we break the news now, Dave?
Yes, we can. The game on Friday, July 11th, at this point in time, will be behind a paywall, as the AAL2 has decided that the semifinals and the championship game will be a pay-per-view event. So we're going to have A.J. Roque join us. A.J. Roque joining us on the headset. All right, head coach Roque joining us. And coach, tell us a little bit about this one, the game's second half, and you guys taking the 2-score win.
Just staying after it, keeping our foot on the gas, and they were getting mad at me for throwing the ball, but I don't give a shit. Like when you take your foot off the gas, that's when bad things happen. Right? Yeah, we threw the pick, but we shouldn't even threw it to him. We should have. But that's right. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Right? It happened. But I don't care. The clock's gonna run. So whether we run the football or not, the clock's gonna run.
Yep.
Until we get under a minute.
Right. What we said on the air too is that the Bearcats really do not change what they
Never.
do.
Why am I gonna change now?
Yeah. So that's your calling card. But coach, you've secured the East Division, and the East Division's filled with 3 really good teams. Steel City, the Roughnecks in their inaugural year. Obviously, Maryland gave you your first loss. So what does it mean to you to come out of this pack of Eastern teams on top?
It feels, yeah. Thank you. it feels good. You know, like you said, there are good football teams, right? So to come out of it like we did that's all you can ask for is find a way to win, right? That's all we talk about is find a way, right? No matter how it gets done, just find a way to score one more point than they do. And we found ways.
I know you don't have a chance to break it down now, but what do you think your team really did well tonight?
I tell you what, that last drive, I got to give it to Hitman. He messed all that up with the collision with the high motion. Right now you eliminate one of their 4 receivers when you're collisioning them. Now we got numbers, right? Now we're 5-on-3. So that was a huge shout out to Hitman on that last drive, man. And we just continued to take what they give us. That was it.
So is the team's watch party at your house for tomorrow night's North game?
I mean, it could be, but you know, I don't know if we have a live stream for most of them.
Oh, that's true too. All right, Coach. You know, great job tonight. We look forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, you got it. All right, so that's head coach A.J. Roque discussing the final couple of moments, and looks like Coach K is going to take our mic as I think we lost our player of the game in the shuffle somewhere, Joe, but Coach K joins us now.
Nick gave me the thumbs down. He was looking for him.
Okay.
I'm right here, guys.
Coach K is here. So, Coach, tell us a little bit about this one. You know, you guys led pretty much from start to finish this time out. The great way you guys started, you know, defensively getting the stop and then getting that first score was really critical tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, defense definitely stepped up. You know, they played their assignments perfectly. We were very well prepared coming into what they were going to do, and they did exactly what we thought they were going to do. Offensively, you know, we just kept the ball rolling, and it feels good to get the win on to next week.
Yeah, they were a pretty tough out. You know, they got the backup quarterback in the game. He throws 2 touchdowns against your defense, but when your offense needed to hammer it home and get that 2-score lead again, you guys delivered every time.
I mean, that just comes down to executing, you know, first and foremost. You got to dial it up, and the fellas got to pick up the phone. It's just that simple.
Now, Coach, you're in charge of the special teams. Do we have a kicker controversy going on?
Not anymore after seeing Chris kick tonight.
Yeah, he did a great job.
I do believe John's going to be back next week. He had a little bit of a issue going on he had to take care of, so I firmly believe he'll be back next week kicking the ball.
Yeah, and Coach, it looks like as the season rolls along, you guys are playing more polished football, more clean football. A couple penalties here and there, but you guys eliminated the pre-snap penalties, which have really been killing you last couple of weeks. This was a good, clean game for you guys.
Yeah, I always say I'm old school style football coach. Penalties are drive killers. You get that momentum going, and then there's a flag, there's another flag. Just kills your momentum, and you know, we buttoned all that up, and it's been good ever since.
You had a chance to play both North teams. They play each other tomorrow to earn the right to play you guys again. Any specific matchup you're looking forward to?
I mean,
what do you think about
honestly,
that game?
It all depends on how the Pittsburgh Outlaws can travel, because they have a pretty decent squad whenever they're home, and whenever they take a trip, it feels like they only show up with like 15 guys. They got some talent on that team. They just need to figure out. I really believe if they get a decent coaching staff up there and a decent recruiter, they can make some noise, because Pittsburgh high school football is no joke. Yeah. That's some of the best in the country. I mean, there's like 19 like college Hall of Famers from that area, and there's like 7 pro football Hall of Famers.
Excellent.
So, yeah, that's some tough football. I know when I was in high school, we went the whole way out there, and we got smacked. It was bad. Wow. So it's not a fun time. That was many moons ago. So,
Coach, it's your show. You have to close us out. You get the last word.
All right, well, I got 2 things to say real quick. Arabella Lynn, if you're watching this, it's time for bed. I want to introduce a very special good dude, overall dude, my man David Ross. I don't know where he is. Give me a second.
He was
Ross,
with you.
You're up.
Yeah.
All right, well, Bearcats football, what can I say? You know, this is one of the shining stars, overall great dude, even hell of a player, even better guy. I'm going to give him the headset.
Yep.
How's it going?
How's it going, Dave?
It's good, it's good.
Listen, welcome back to Bearcats football. We missed you around here.
Yes, sir. No, it's been great.
Yeah, but you've been busy yourself. Tell us about the trek to the NAL in Omaha.
It's been a long journey. I'm happy I ended up in Omaha. It was a great experience. I'm hoping to either go up more or go back to Omaha next year.
Yeah, Dave, tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you aware of that area of the U.S.? Have you gone there before? Or
No, it was my first time ever in the Midwest. I used to play overseas, but I've never even been to the Midwest of the States. So it was everything was new. But You know, the atmosphere, the people around me, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, what are some things that you learned as a player playing at the NAL level?
I would say patience, how to be a better leader. I think a lot of it is off the field stuff. You know, I think the biggest thing is, like, you know, you could be a great player, but what is it that you're doing off the field?
And, you know, to boot, you guys had a great season.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the season and how you did.
It was great. You know, at first I started out at Carolina. Then, you know, things ended up happening in Carolina. Got traded out to Omaha. It's really easy when, you know, everyone on this team has the same common goal. So we were able to click really quickly.
Dave, these Bearcats players, they all watch the game when they get home, you know.
Yeah.
What can you say to them as far as getting ready for the next game, getting ready for this drive towards a championship? What are some words you can inspire them with?
Stay hungry, because you never know who's watching.
Excellent. Dave, welcome back, man. Congratulations on all the success.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you coming back here and cheering us on, and wish you all the best moving forward, man.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
You got it. David Ross, tremendous athlete, Joe, who got a shot to go to the NAL Professional League with the Omaha Beef. They had a great season, and a true success story of what developmental football is all about.
The Omaha Beef. Love that team, man.
Yes.
That is excellent. But it is a great story, and it's great to see the players from the AAL2 getting an opportunity to take the step to that next level, and not only do so, but to compete in meaningful games at that level as well. Championship caliber team that he was a part of, and obviously we hope to see more of this in the future from players from throughout the AAL2. You have to think that if you're a Jersey Bearcat, getting to the championship and making a name for yourself that way, getting to contribute to another banner here in Roselle, that certainly helps.
Not bad at all. And once again, as you see the final score on your screen, Jersey Joe punches its ticket to the Northeast Championship by winning the East 35-20. Great game, and let's talk final thoughts before we get ready for the next championship game in 2 weeks.
Well, you mentioned it during your conversation with Coach K. The penalties that had plagued the Bearcats, specifically of the pre-snap variety, those have been cleaned up the last 2 weeks. So that's something they have to be very pleased with. Their defense, for really all but 2 plays in this game, was phenomenal. They gave up the 2 quick strike touchdowns, and that's not entirely on the defense, because the special teams unit with a penalty there set up the offense of the Stampede in scoring position. So for much of this game, the Bearcats' defense was phenomenal. That's been the case each of the last 2 weeks. I really like the adjustments they've made on the offensive side of the ball as well. Willing to run it more with Mateo Rodriguez. Perhaps you don't want to see them run it with him diving headfirst for the goal line late in the game, but as Coach Roque said, this team does not change their identity for anyone at any time. And during that fourth quarter, the Bearcats definitely were dead set on scoring one more touchdown. It didn't happen, but when all said and done, they pick up the win, take care of business, 3-0 against Steel City this year, on to the Northeast Championship in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and, you know, like Coach Roque said, we don't know if there's going to be a live stream of Michigan and Pittsburgh, but we probably know that a lot of those players were watching this live stream, Joe, so they got a pretty good look at their opponents for next week. Joe, you can close us out, but we're looking forward to a really great game. Just remember, that's in 2 weeks from tonight on July 11th. It'll be Jersey playing the winner of that game.
Here's one more look at the potential matchups and where you can catch the game on the PDF Sports Network Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. However, we do have more football on PDF before that time. The Vetera Liga returns to the PDF Sports Network on Sunday, June 29th, 1:30 p.m. That is just 2 days from now, so be sure to tune in for that as the Giants take on the Saints in a rematch of last season's Division I championship. There is the Maple League, the top level of football in Finland, Division I, just one level below that. These two teams met in the D1 championship before being promoted to the Maple League for the 2025 season. So we're looking forward to that matchup and many more great matchups in the Vetera Liga all season long. As for our game here tonight, it is the Jersey Bearcats over the Steel City Stampede by a final score of 35-20. The Bearcats move on to the Northeast Championship in 2 weeks. We'll have that game right here for you on the PDF Sports Network. As Dave mentioned, per the AAL2's decision, that game will be behind a paywall. It will be $5 to watch via Boxcast. The link to that Boxcast stream will be shared on our YouTube page. There will be a loop of a stream running on YouTube directing viewers to the Boxcast stream. That stream will cost $5 on Friday, July 11th. But until then, this has been Joe Foreman on the call alongside David Pizzuto, our camera operator, Pat Gilorenzo, our engineer, Nick Bavona. Our final score tonight, the Bearcats 35, the Stampede 20. We'll see you back for more AAL2 playoff football on July 11th. Enjoy the rest of your night.